I don't know what it is, but I love that track. I love that track, and it's a great way to start the day. That's right. Hello, it's Marcus from Raleigh, and I am still alive. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Mark Summers from Major Linux, twitch.tv/Major Linux, and it's time once again for another episode of Tech Talk. Today, I am sorry. I apologize. I have not been around this week. It's been a week. It's been a time. Things have been happening internally. But we're okay because we got to get the news out. To take a phrase from an amazing a sharer of news. I tried to get my mental health back in check, but stuff still happened. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. It looks like I am joined here by Minor Linux, the one true Major. What's up, buddy? How are you doing? How are you living? What's going on with you? Hello?
They just saw me walk through here.
Yes. I saw you when you walked down the hallway and into the studio. Yes, I saw you the entire time. So I was not scared. You did not scare me this time like you did the first time. So what can I do for you today?
I was searching up Lego 2K Drive.
You couldn't find it?
Yeah, I always saw I clicked on the gameplay and it took me to videos. Yeah, I didn't know what to do.
Didn't know what to do. We might have to fix it. Let's see if it's available for one. Let's check on that. Let's do that. Let's going live to the Xbox app to see if Lego 2K Drive is part of Game Pass. That's 25. That's not what I meant. It does not look like it's a part of Game Pass, so we probably don't have access to it.
Yeah, because it only took 2 videos and I only saw that mark. So I think it was like a Nintendo mark or something. I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe it was like a Nintendo mark or something.
Oh. So what else is going on with you? So apparently we do not have access to 2K Drive. What else is going on with you this morning? How have things been going for you this week? The show hasn't been live all week. We want to know, how is Caden doing this week?
I'm good actually. Yeah.
We can't hear you. The microphone's right here.
I've been good actually.
Okay. What you been up to?
I've been good.
What have you been up to? What have you been doing this week? You don't know? What do you mean you don't know? Are you not in charge of your body? Are you an alien?
What's that?
What?
That.
What is this?
Yes.
That's my APC.
What's an APC?
I don't know what APC stands for. I really don't. But it's what I use to control the audio of the stream. So that's it? That's all you got for me?
What are you doing?
What is this?
What are you doing?
I'm reading something. Yeah, I'll report that as spam. All right. I thought Twitch got rid of the whispers thing, given so many conversations that have been happening lately, yet I still have access to whispers. And apparently so do other people. So if there's nothing else to report from the one true major, who is now standing back to back with me. Oh no, he's not. He's just hiding behind me. I guess we can get into some gaming and tech news. Even for there to be a week of not reporting any news on this channel, there apparently has just been a lot of tech, not much gaming. So, excuse me. Ooh, had some grits. Salt, butter, and grits. Salt, butter, and grits. Start your day the major way with salt, butter, and grits. Yep. Well, I think that's it. That's all I got. And that's all he had after he wanted to just mess with the top of my head. But yeah, let's get into it, shall we? We've got some stuff to cover. First off, if you missed this, you missed this, but I don't know. Seems like we're making a big deal about it. It seems like we were until other things happened. Biden bans U.S. sale of Kaspersky software over Russia ties. On June 20th, the Biden administration on Thursday announced plans to bar the sale of antivirus software made by Russia's Kaspersky lab in the United States, with Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo saying that Russia's influence over the company poses a significant security risk. The software's privileged access to a computer's systems could allow it to steal sensitive information from American computers or install malware and withhold critical updates, enhancing the threat, a source said, noting that Kaspersky's customers include critical infrastructure providers and state and local governments. In an emailed statement, Kaspersky added that its activities did not threaten. There we go. Kaspersky said it believed the U.S. decision was based on the present geopolitical climate and theoretical concerns rather than on a comprehensive evaluation of the integrity of Kaspersky's products and services. In an email statement, Kaspersky added that its activities did not threaten U.S. national security and that it will pursue legal options to preserve its operations. The Russian embassy did not respond to requests for comment. Previously, Kaspersky has said that it is a privately managed company with no ties to the Russian government. The sweeping new rule using broad powers created by the administration of former President Donald Trump will be coupled with another move to add 3 units of the company to a trade restriction list, Raimondo said, dealing a blow to Kaspersky's reputation that could hammer its overseas sales. So again, when you know I'm going to do this, get very, very political here. Again, because everything is political, whether people want you to believe that or not. When people are telling you that Biden is better than Trump and that, Biden will like, even when he came into office, like he's going to take out so many things that Trump did, right? Notice that there are some things that we've even talked about on this show that Biden and his administration have used that Trump and his administration had put into place initially. So again, it's that thing of when people tell you that Biden and Trump are two sides of the same coin, we're not saying that they are the same. Because again, if you had a quarter, there's clearly heads on one side and tails on the other. But we're still telling you there are two sides of the one quarter. It's still one quarter. It's still one thing. It is still a capitalist duopoly system. And when you flip it, sure, you might be looking at something different, but they're going to be the purposes of the coin still are there. The fact that there may be things that the Democrats will do that the Republicans don't like, and the Republicans will do that the Democrats don't like. The meat and potatoes of this system are still going to be put in place regardless of whoever is in power or in perceived power here. So the fact that both administrations are like Russia, 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 even though one seems to be pro-Russian, the other one is like anti-Russia. They're still using things that have been put in place by previous presidents that they have apparently opposed to get their objectives done. And those are the things you need to look out for. Those are the things you need to watch out for. Now, I don't know about Kaspersky. I can't trust any company as far as I can throw them. But the fact of the matter is, like, they're just assuming that Kaspersky is in league with the Russian government, as opposed to anybody kind of doing any research, any auditing as to what Kaspersky does. Like, why was there not an investigation to look into the company before a ban? Y'all had time to do this, and yet it's like, oh no, we're just doing it. Like, what is the justification? What is the rationale other than Kaspersky could be in league with the Russian government, right? Like, why are you making the moves that you're making? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, but again, it's not like the US government is really ever going to share any details as to what it's doing. It's just saying like, hey, we're doing this thing, trust us. It's like, yeah, nah, dog. Like, honestly, we can't really do that anymore. We can't just give you carte blanche to just do whatever it is that you want to do. Like, there are things you need to answer to, you need to answer for before we're all like, yeah, nah, you're good. You're good. You just do you. Again, it's still like the TikTok ban. And like I've talked about this several times, where it's a whole thing of, you've got Congress people who are saying, man, if you knew what we knew, y'all back us, and we need to get this out to the public. And it's like a whole bunch of lip service, but yet nothing has been made public as to why. And it seems like nobody is still talking about that. Like, we're also talking about the ban itself, but nobody is talking about all those Congress people coming out. And again, like I still point to Raphael Warnock, senator from Georgia, who was like, yeah, like, nobody my age cares, but I mean, nobody my age cares about TikTok. The only people who care are the people who can't vote right now. One, which is very dismissive of not only his own daughters, which he admits, like, oh yeah, my daughters will hate me, but who cares? They can't vote. Like, that's a very shitty stance to take about your children. But also, like, these are future voters, and it's coming off as, you know, either you don't care about your job, or you're hoping that the American people will not remember what you did. And especially, and like, I mean, granted, we can sit here and look now, especially, and they probably won't remember what you said because nobody is talking about it. Or let me change that. Nobody, I mean, I've not seen anybody talk about it from, especially a lot of these tech sites. I've not seen anybody, even in mainstream news, talk about what these senators have been saying, mainly because of the fact that, again, we know why they're banning TikTok, and the less anybody talks about it, the better. Having the US government come out and say, yeah, if you see what we've seen, you'd be on our side too. Like, again, like, that's the manufacturing consent without really providing us any evidence to say, oh shit, yo, like for real, he's got a point. When it's like, what point? He's not made it. He's actually been silent since then. Nobody has said what China is doing with our data. So yeah, for the US to kind of go after Kaspersky seems really odd, especially when you do have a lot of US you have a lot of US software companies like Norton who would kind of step in, and it would drive up Norton's business. I don't know if Microsoft I guess if you're selling enterprise security from Microsoft, you could definitely increase your business that way. But yeah, like I don't think that this is like that this was tied to like the Russian government being a part of Kaspersky in any way. I think it's another way, like hitting a private business in a country you don't like to further cripple their economy, but you're trying to hide it under the guise of national security. To where, like, if you keep doing that, even people within your borders are going to think that, you know, your cries of national security are a joke. Because it's like you jumping at shadows, or it gives off the impression that you're jumping at shadows, when definitely that's not what you're doing. We know you're not jumping at shadows. You're just making people think that, oh no, everybody is out to get us. But no, they're not. You keep poking a bear. And literally in this case, you poked Russia. Kind of forced them to act in a way that maybe you didn't expect them to act, but they did. And now you got to deal with this. See, y'all started. It's like people just don't think, like, the U.S. starts a whole bunch of shit, man. Like, again, you kind of see it distilled into very visible things when you're looking at what Israel is doing in historic Palestine. But yeah, like that's what the U.S. does everywhere else. It's just not as obvious. Whereas like, we're going to do something, it's going to cause something to happen, and then we're going to scream national security. Oh no, we're the victims. No, you're not. Just shut up. Just sit there, look pretty. Shut up. But now about American businesses. Of course, we've been covering on this on Tech Talks here and there about Dell's return to office policy. To where Dell has been trying to come employees come back into the office, with the latest ultimatum being, hey, if you do not come back into the office, that's fine. Work from home. Excuse me, but don't look for any promotions if that's the case. To where nearly half of them said, okay, all right, bet. We'll just stay home. Let's see. Business Insider claims it has seen internal Dell tracking data that reveals nearly 50% of the workforce opted to accept the consequences of staying home or staying remote, undermining Dell's plan to restore its in-office culture. The publication spoke with a dozen Dell employees to hear their stories as to why they chose to stay remote, and a variety of reasons came up. Some said they enjoyed more free time and less strain on their finances after going remote, and nothing could convince them to give that up now. Others said their local offices had closed since the pandemic, or that they weren't interested in promotions. Others still noted that it seemed pointless to go into an in-person office when the teams they worked on were already distributed across multiple offices around the world, so they'd mostly still be on Zoom calls anyway. One person said they'd spoken with colleagues who had chosen to go hybrid, and those colleagues reported doing work at mostly empty offices, punctuated with video calls with people who were in other mostly empty offices. Many interviewed admitted that they were looking for work at other companies that aren't trying to corral employees back into the office. And like, those are all valid points, all equally valid points. Like the first one being, going back here, says some said that they enjoyed more free time and less strain on their finances after going remote, and nothing could convince them to give that up now. Again, it's the whole thing of like, once you taste freedom, you do not want to give that up. Why would you go back to subjugation? Why would you go back to that? The fact that so many people have finally got what I've been saying for years, especially people who work in like white collar specific, I mean, overall, but like, especially with tech jobs. What is the point of going remote? I mean, what is the point of going into an office if I'm having to call people in other offices? If I don't work in a data center, but I still need to access a machine, I have to remote into it. Like, oh no, when I'm at home, I have to connect to a VPN. Oh darn, that just seems like a lot. Like that was my whole thing when I was working with NC State. Like, even though like there was a data center like down the hall and I could have walked to the data center, it was still pointless for me to do that because again, they're all headless machines. I got to do a whole thing with a KVM switch. It may work, it may not work because the graphics drivers were just, or the KVM switch just wasn't all that great. Things may not, I had to go back in the back of the machine to plug the KVM switch into a place and hope that it worked. It's a whole mess. If the machine wouldn't allow me to remote into it, then fine, I understood it. And again, this is where I would argue mostly for hybrid in a sense of, if I can't remotely access a machine, I will go drive to machine. If not, if I can access that machine remotely, that's it. I'm not leaving my house. It does not make any sense. And that was the whole thing with me working at NC State. Like even before the pandemic, because like I said, I was there for 3 months before the pandemic. It was still me remoting into these machines. To where when the pandemic first hit, like the plan was, if I couldn't get if I could not get remote access to a machine, I need physical access. Then instead of me going, because we still did not know what the virus was going to be like, it was like, hey, whoever's risking their neck today, could you go into the server room and like reboot the machine or kick it or something? To where it's like, I am, for all intents and purposes, fully remote. It doesn't make sense for people to have to go back into an office unless you're management and you need some way to keep track on employees. You need some way to be able to micromanage and make yourself feel important, because you can't feel important as a manager staring at a screen and can't pester people or can't call people to your office or walk up behind somebody and say, you got those reports done? Like, nah, dog, like get the fuck out of here. Like, this could have been an email. You could have sent me a Slack message or something, a Teams message, whatever. Also, with just real estate costs going up, they can't justify having buildings. Like, nah, just sell your buildings. Buy a house. Put your C-suite in there. Put your C-suite in a house. Call it Executive House. Make it a reality TV show. But no, it's good. It's good to see that there are like I mean, and it's one thing to see like those use cases or those case studies or whatever, where they're like, excuse me, depending on who you ask, depending on who they use to conduct the study, you get differing results as to how like remote work, return to office policies look, right? But this is concrete evidence here. Like, this is a company, we can see that data, and they're saying like 50%, like about 50% of people are like, yeah, fuck that. One, because they don't want to. Two, because some of them actually just can't. So like, even like at that point too, is Dell restricting promotions for people who cannot come to an office where it is too expensive to move? Like their closest off, like let's say if Dell employees were in fucking Richmond, Virginia or something like that, and the closest Dell office is in New York City. Like, that doesn't make any sense to force people to sit there and move from a place where housing is relatively affordable compared to living in New York or New Jersey. Like, the argument, yeah, like it doesn't make any sense. So it's good to see like there are employees who are standing on business and it's like, yeah, like, no, like I don't care about these promotions. And I was watching a TikTok video too that was kind of explaining some of that rationale too, where he was saying like some of these people are like, look, these promotions will put me in management positions and I don't want to be a manager. Like, I don't want to be the guy who's just standing around and, you know, trying to get people to do this or trying to do more work than what you're paying me to do. And he was saying like, if upward mobility up into like a C-suite was a thing, sure, we think about it, but those decisions are made in back rooms in spaces that we don't have access to. So like, you're only going to promote me to a certain point, and like, that's it. Like, there's a ceiling to how high I can go as a person without, you know, brown nosing and shit. So yeah, what's the point? I'd rather, like, I'm good with where I'm at right now. Like, favorite quote from Phyllis from The Office, I think we're happy with the balance we struck. Good on these Dell employees. Congratulations. Again, it is hot. It hashtag hot labor summer. Y'all get what y'all deserve out there in these streets. Uber is locking New York drivers out of its apps and blaming a city pay rule, with Lyft threatening to do the same. For the last month, Uber has been locking New York City drivers out of its apps during low demand periods, and Lyft has threatened to do so too. Bloomberg reports that the ride-hailing companies blame a New York City taxi and limousine commission rule for their behavior. At least one drivers union says it may consider striking if the lockout continues, or if the lockouts continue. The mid-shift lockout stemmed from a 6-year-old New York City pay rule that requires ride-sharing companies to pay drivers for idle time between fares. Capping how long drivers without passengers can be paid means Uber pays less, but it also means drivers are taking home much less money for the same amount of time on the clock. And they can't predict when they'll lose access to the app. Like, I'm gonna have to pop back into, say, one Hey Major. Was there a 2? Or I imagine we're just typing I2. Don't take a manager job if you don't want to manage. If you don't want a manager. I mean, that makes sense. Merge coming in with the 1-2 punch. What's going on, Merge? And he's right. These drivers are understandably angry. I used to work 10 hours and make $300 to $350. Now I just worked 10 hours and barely made $170. I was so disappointed. I'm paying for my gas and cannot make money. This was a Nicholas Sulakidze. I'm sorry. I sorry if I butchered your name there. It makes sense, but often you don't feel like you have a choice. And it does. Going back to the Dell thing, like being for like the whole management thing, like getting the promotions, like it's like that would be a rule that I'm glad somebody implemented for me. It's like, okay, look, I don't get a promotion if I don't report back to the office. Bet I will stay right here. I do not want this promotion. And if this stops that, then cool. It's like looking at my PC is like, I don't know. Do I like, and again, like we've talked before about the whole Copilot Plus shit, right? Whereas like, I was kind of happy. Like, look, none of my PC components have AI shit in it. I won't get Copilot Plus until it was then pointed out that my GPU could technically could handle those features. And I'm like, oh, fuck. But for that moment when I didn't think about the GPU, I was good. Cause like, hey, if I don't do anything, if I actively just stand still and don't make any upgrades that would require, that would come with the AI shit, or the fact that I have a desktop and these were all laptop parts that were being announced at Computex. Like if I just have a PC and do not upgrade my CPU, great. Nothing's going to happen to me. Like it'll just wash over and it doesn't matter. But then that joy was quickly taken away by people pointing out the GPU and said, damn. Oh, excuse me. Uber and Lyft are deploying the look what you made me do strategy, pointing fingers at the TLC's pay rule and each other while trying to turn drivers into lobbyists against the regulation. An Uber email to its drivers from last month, viewed by Bloomberg, encouraged drivers to let the TLC know the effect their rules have had on their wages. No, Uber, that's not what we're going to do. You're just going to have to pay us more. I mean, I say us, but specifically New York folks, I would also like to get paid more, but in the context of this article, yeah, pay the New York people more. Like, what are you doing? Like, and I have got one of those emails. I don't know if it was from Uber. I think it was from DoorDash. Because I still technically have a DoorDash account, a DoorDash delivery driver account. To where DoorDash was like, wait, I am wearing these headphones backwards. I thought something felt weird that the cable was stretching across my body. I was like, yeah, that's not where that cable is supposed to be. Sorry about that. Yeah, but like DoorDash just sent me an email. Like apparently like there was some legislation that was going on. I can't remember where. Whereas like, yeah, like I'm glad that, you know, Dashers, we all stick together and we got to let them know that they can't pass these laws and make us like, no, I don't stand with, I will, no. One, I know you are being exploitive. One, I know you are exploiting your gig economy workers because again, you have people who are doing this full time and have no benefits because you want to call us independent contractors and give us a choice. Which, as someone who has to take care of things during the week, I can't just leave my house like that. So it's like, I can't be full time and I'm barely like being able to contribute to things going on in the house, let alone things that I personally need to take care of. Like it barely sustains the Major's House apparatus, the Major's House infrastructure. Which again, lovely if you could help. Ko-fi.com/Major Linux if you want to help out personally, or if you want to help out DCA, patreon.com/DeskChairAnalyst. We do not have things to give you for your help other than supporting an independent gaming and tech news outlet. Or I guess in this case, until like I feel like I can write again a regurgitation of news, or I guess a news aggregation site. I don't know what the fuck we're doing now. I pivoted because I still wanted to cover tech and gaming news, but I don't know what the fuck this is anymore. But yeah, the fact that we have these companies who were sitting there trying to pass the buck over to laws that are meant to kind of protect the gig economy workers, to where these companies are sitting there trying to get the gig economy workers to rebel against. It's like, nah, like, dude, we know you are exploiting us. You control the money. You could give us the money, but you choose not to. You want us to sit there and fight for you to be able to keep whatever profits you get. Yeah, nah, dog. Like, you could just pay us because, all right, because let's say this, because I feel like, because I was thinking this in my head, like a counter argument. Because you could say like, all right, if we fought against New York, we fought against this TLC law, then Uber could pay us more. Well, see, the thing is here, if Uber was willing to pay me for the time that I'm not getting, that the rule was kind of protecting against, to where it's like, oh no, this rule's in effect and we have to pay you less. You could then just scale up the pay to where I'm getting the equivalent while this rule is still in place. I'm just saying, companies, we created the gig economy so that we wouldn't have to pay you. This isn't fair. Exactly. And see, the reason why they won't do that is because the fact that somebody might sit there and find a way around this rule, this law, and then Uber will have to pay them more. So, that sounds like a personal problem, but it seems like your company will not work unless people are driving. But again, as someone who isn't in the pay dispute part of this, like again, not New York. So there may be people here in North Carolina who are thinking about this shit, but nobody, at least I haven't seen anybody talking about it as of late. But my whole thing is, it's like, people lose jobs. They need income some way, somehow. Here is easy way to do so. Download app, drive car. To where it's like, these companies, while sure at the jump may have been great when people had jobs and they wanted to make a little side money, but like now we're at a point where a lot of people, and this may not have been its intended consequence, but again, capitalism and also just people doing hustle culture shit kind of made this a thing where people became full-time Uber and Lyft drivers. People became full-time gig economy workers because it was so easy to use an app to get money, to where it's almost like the capitalist class, the ruling class saw this and was like, you know what? What if we made more apps like this where people just worked gigs instead? And again, I want to point this out. I want to point something out too after I finish. Like, we make apps where people do gigs. We will cut down on the amount of jobs we have to pay for full-time employees, benefits, perks, all that stuff. We're going to cut those down. We're going to cut the jobs out, period. And then people are going to be so desperate for money and for work that they'll download this app. It says, oh, this is just temporary. I'm in between jobs. And then here it is, like a year and a half later, you're still doing the gig economy work and not actually have a real job for reasons TM. Now, I will say, just like AI to an extent, I would say like whatever we're doing, generative AI. Again, we're hearing the reports now that, energy consumption for training these models is terrible. So, I'll take off AI. Let's say automation, because I feel like that does not take much more energy or more. It does not take much more energy. If anything, it may take less, right? But like, you got automation, and then you got gig economy work, right? These are two things I feel like would work under socialism if it was for the fact that if only because of the fact that your housing is guaranteed, your health is guaranteed, your education is guaranteed. There was UBI, to where it's like you did not have to worry about going into poverty. Like, if your basic needs were met and not commodified, I could see a society in which gig economy work was perfect, because it is a thing that, like, hey, I do not mind. Like, I'm trying to be careful. I do not mind ride sharing or driving a ride share car. Don't mind at all. The activity that I am doing when I am engaging with Uber as a driver, I love doing because I feel like I am providing a useful service to people. I get to meet cool people. Like for the most part, I have like it's rare that I've met people that's like, yo, I don't want you in my car. It's either, it's been silent or like we struck up a cool conversation and we talked about some deep shit. Like there have been people I've had some good political conversations with people. I enjoy doing what I do when I interact with the Uber driver app. I'm pretty sure there are people, and like this is when I first saw it. Like when I was doing DoorDash initially, and I had to deliver food to somebody who was not necessarily remote, but like she was out there, and it's not like she could leave her house. She was wheelchair bound, oxygen, and like she didn't live up some stairs, so it's not like she was going to be able to leave her house easily to go get food. So having a service like DoorDash makes sense. And I feel like that, like those acts, the jobs I am doing, whether it is food delivery or transporting people to and fro, is meaningful work. But it loses its meaning when it's tied behind capitalism, when it's tied behind exploitive behaviors by these companies. And it's a thing where like I could make the argument that these apps would be great if our basic needs were met, and we didn't need Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Versatile, or is it Variable or Versatile? I can't remember what the hell the name of the app is. And it is and I don't know if people have seen this. It's a billboard on 440 in Raleigh. It is a gig economy app where you can hire people to do warehouse jobs. It's like, what the fuck? Like the fact that apps like TaskRabbit, Angie's List, could be so much more beneficial if our basic needs were met, where small businesses could actually thrive because the part where they have to worry about healthcare wasn't a part of the business. The fact that the people who were working in that small business could actually just benefit from the sole profits of the business. Like everybody got that piece. But that's not where we are. And that's why, like, again, these gig economy apps, these companies are fucking shitty because they are banking on the fact that people are so fucking desperate to just survive that's how they get these independent contractors to do this. And then also hope that people would get mad at the state because like, oh no, the state's fucking with my money. No. Well, the state might, but not as much as Uber and Lyft are. This was exactly the point. Break down the existing incumbents and replace them with jobs that have less protections. The existing incumbents needed to go, but needed to be replaced with something better. Instead, replaced with something more convenient for the customer, but worse for the worker. Yeah, I mean, again, we're commodifying so much of just human existence now. Like now, like I feel like the worker was commodified before, but now it's just fucking blatant and obvious. It's like now the consumer can commodify the worker. And it's like, because it's one thing like where it's like you called a taxi service and the taxi service will send an employee. Now you're just using an app to summon another human being with a car. Like, because again, with Uber saying that these are not employees, You do not call an Uber employee to your house. You call another person who's using another app to your house. When you use DoorDash, you do not ask for a DoorDash employee. You do not ask for the restaurant's employee. You are asking for another random person with a car to go to a restaurant and then bring that food to your house. You have now commodified transportation and food delivery. We really need, and I think this is one of the reasons why this is definitely one of the reasons why, like, not this article, but it's what I do here. It is like why I needed that week. And I'm almost like, I thought about it for a second. I said, what if on Thursday weeks, I just do not do daily shows? Because then it gives me 4 days. Or I would say 3 days because I technically do this 4 days a week. But it gives me 3 days to not have to say this news. But unfortunately, it just compounds them all into Thursday. It is like, okay, yeah, I see the problem with that. I should probably spread it out. But having to talk about how, because again, not enough people talk about, like, people like talk about like, oh, here's the latest phone, here's what this software would do. Nobody is talking about, and it focuses on the fact that like these companies are being super exploitive because they want, like, because they want to seem neutral. Also, they realize, like, and I think for a lot of people, it's like they realize they're complicit in this, and they realize, I feel like if people realize that they speak too much on it, then it's like, well, don't you use Uber? Like, well, yeah, yes, I do. And I like, they don't want to confront in themselves that they too are part of the problem. And it's not because you're a willing participant. It's because like there is no other option in some places. There is no other option. You can't help but to call an Uber. You can't help but to use DoorDash or something like that. You can't help but to use the system in order to get your needs met. Right. And that's why I feel like people don't understand. It's like the flame wars and shit. It's like people feel like they can't speak out against Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo because that's the system that they have. And it's like, I got to defend Sony with all my heart. It's like, no, you don't. Like, again, I will sit here and point out, as always, like every episode, I will reach for my phone. Again, iPhone all day. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever go back to Android. And even then, doesn't matter. But again, yes, I own an iPhone. I own 2 Android devices. Between Google and Samsung. And I guarantee you, all 3 of them have rare earth minerals that were mined out of the Congo. I have to admit that and say, yeah, I bought an iPhone. I bought a Galaxy S22 Plus. I bought a Pixel 6a. The fact that this is a tech and gaming, because I remember telling somebody this is a tech and gaming podcast. They thought I said Tekken. This is a tech and gaming. Maybe I should switch it to gaming and tech. But yeah, like I have to admit, this is like a tech podcast here. I couldn't do this without technology. I talk about technology. But like I have to understand, recognize, reckon with, and then talk about it's like the complicity. I'll take it all the time. I wish. Oh, man, I've now gotten to the part of I've gotten to the videos on my Plex server where Tekken 8 came out, and I'm like, damn, I want to play Tekken 8 now. You can help me get Tekken 8 if you contribute to my coffee. But but seriously, it's a thing where it's like, you have to reckon with the fact that that we are complicit in the system, because of the fact that, again, in 2024, you can't really do much of anything without having to interact with, without having to own some piece of tech. Sure, I have an Apple Watch, a thing I don't necessarily need. Like, I feel like we could talk about the amount of money that I will eventually pay for this iPhone. But that's beside the point, because all the iPhones probably use about the same, about the same amount of resources from conflict countries. There are a lot of things that I have here that I necessarily don't need to do the stream. I don't even need to be streaming. This is something that I want to do. And I have to recognize that, yes, it took resources from places that probably shouldn't be giving them up as easily as they are, but they are because of the fact that they're being subjugated by governments, by corporations. So yeah, like for me, it feels weird at times. It weighs on me heavily as someone who covers this, to see news being covered in such a way to where like nobody is talking about what's going on here. The fact that these tech blogs, for them to be making so much money hand and foot over like on top of like what's happening in these countries, for them not to talk about it is weird. It's a weird cognitive dissonance that over time, because this is the area I'm interested in. I love technology. I love the future. I love how technology can be used to sit there and better society. But just how the capitalism gets there and just kind of removes the people from the product. Like, I'm not trying to be the vegan here and say, like meat is murder. I mean, I feel like murder is a human invention, and therefore applying it to an animal that was provided for sustenance is not the same. I do admit though that, hey, the amount of consumption of meat products that we do partake in is a lot. And it could be devastating to the planet. And it is devastating to the planet. I can't say that it's inhumane, because I feel like humane has human in it. And I feel like humane is another human invention for a thing that I feel like pertains to humans. I don't know. That could be me. I could be wrong. And again, I apologize. I am not here to insult people. This is just my take on it. And if I get canceled for this, damn, I guess I deserved it. But here I go talking about being canceled. But I will sit there and say that while I wouldn't use the word inhumane to describe what happens to like the livestock that's being killed for our consumption of meat, like that is terrible. It's fucked up. And maybe it's just the people did not have another term for fucked up, so they slapped inhumane on it. But I will say it's fucked up. That's a fucked up shit, bro. Like, we were able to eat just, I mean, granted, sure, you weren't providing it for everybody all the time, but yeah, I was at a point too, where like initially, like when I heard that, oh yeah, the population is falling, I was like, yay. But then they're like, but there's not going to be enough people to do jobs. Oh no. Oh wait, no. Oh wait, I know who's saying that part. Nope. I'm good. Because yeah, if we can bring the population down, then we don't need to produce as much shit. Maybe allow the planet to fucking heal. Maybe some of us don't need to be here. I can think of one person already, just off top of the dome. I think of one person who maybe we could have done without. But I mean, sure, it would have, maybe not propelled electric cars to where they are, or helped out with the space industry. But at least Twitter would have been left alone. But yeah, I'm thinking one person we can do it out. Oh, thank you, The Guardian, for not showing up a paywall. I should support The Guardian. But this is like the only article that I've used from The Guardian. I'm not prepared to go down the path of saying who needs to be here and who doesn't. I mean, you're right. Maybe I went a little too far. But did I though? But yeah, supporting The Guardian, I don't know. I've seen them kind of write some problematic stuff here. It was definitely brought back to my attention when one of the community members I shared the article with me. But again, as far as I'm concerned, this is, I think, one of two places I may have seen this article show up. There are definitely parts of our food supply chain where there is no necessary suffering to keep up with our unrealistic meat demands. Yeah, again, a lot of things need to be fixed. And it's a lot. It is a lot. But again, like, something has to give. Something has to give here. I say this as I'm about to cook bacon. So again, participating in a system that I complain about. Again, but what can you, like, again, we can speak out. That's the thing. We can speak out. But they don't want us to do that. I think my music just cut off or something. Give me a second. Yep. Your account is being used on another device. What device? Oh, wait. Oh, I know what device. I know what device it's being used on. Yeah, I forgot I have YouTube Music opened on my Mac as well. Give me a second. There we go. But yeah, so in AI clownery, London premiere of movie with AI generated script canceled after backlash. The Prince Charles Cinema, located in London's West End, in which traditionally screens cult and art films, was due to host a showing of a new production called The Last Screenwriter on Sunday. However, the cinema announced on social media that the screening would not go ahead. In its statement, the Prince Charles said, quote, "The feedback we received over the last 24 hours once we advertised the film has highlighted the strong concern held by many of our audience on the use of AI in place of a writer, which speaks to a wider issue within the industry." Oops, wrong button. Wrong button. Hi. Hello. Don't mind me. Again, I need eye trackers to determine which monitor I am looking at. Switch to the top window on that monitor, and then allow me to use the computer, because this is nuts. The film industry is so union heavy. I wonder how they thought this was a good idea. Oh, we're about to find out. I was about to tell you until I hit the wrong button. Directed by Peter Luisi and starring Nicholas Poppel. The Last Screenwriter is a Swiss production that describes itself as the story of a celebrated screenwriter who finds his world shaken when he encounters a cutting-edge AI script writing system. He soon realizes AI not only matches his skills, but even surpasses him in empathy and understanding of human emotions. The screenplay is credited to ChatGPT 4.0. It's 4.0. OpenAI launched its latest model, GPT 4.0, the letter O, in May. Like, there is a distinction to those two things, and I hate that OpenAI called those two different things that, because you're like trying to read it, like you say 4.0, not 4.0, and then reading ChatGPT 4.0, and it's like that. People will also probably read 4.0 as 4.0. It becomes so confusing. It really does. Louise told the Daily Beast that the cinema had canceled the screening after it received 200 complaints, but that a private screening for cast and crew would still go ahead in London. He added, quote, "I think people don't know enough about the project. All they hear is first film written entirely by AI, and they immediately see the enemy and their anger goes towards us. If screenwriters take the time to watch the movie and read about the process and why we did this film, I can't imagine they'll condemn us or more, because I'm one of them. I want to do this as a contribution to the cause." I mean, you also could have just wrote about it, or, maybe release the behind the scenes on YouTube where it wouldn't necessarily give away the movie, but explain the process. You did not do that. Or maybe you did in the Daily Beast. See, Louise says the idea for the film was his and began with a simple prompt: write a plot to a feature-length film where a screenwriter realizes he is less good than artificial intelligence in writing. From there, he instructed ChatGPT to name characters, produce outlines, and write scenes for the film, which were then selected and occasionally shortened. He wanted to get an answer to the question, how good can a movie be that was written by AI? Quote, "There's been so many movies done where it's like man versus machine. In all of these movies, a human imagined how the scenario would be. And this is like the first movie where not the human, but the AI imagined how this would be." Louis tells the Daily Beat, he says when he showed actors the final result, they were astonished how good the screenplay is. They almost couldn't believe it, Louis said, which is also still my response. It was science, I promise. Okay, so there is a trailer for it. Oh, so the movie will be available for free. So I guess we could just watch it. Yeah, so it's not like he really explains why, other than to say, hey, I just wanted to see if the computer could actually do better than us, which I don't know. According to his statements up here, they almost couldn't believe it. And that was also his response. Hold on, I'm going to pump this through. Also, I feel like my YouTube music stopped working again. Hooray! Yeah, so our AC is still down. I hear my wife talking to the dude who came out yesterday, charged us $150 to tell us that we need to change our air filters, and that should make the AC work again. It has not. Like, luckily, like for it to push about 100 degrees over here, it has not really been that hot in the house, and I do appreciate that. Trust and believe. But again, it's like still like a bit more humid downstairs, and I would like it is nice and it feels nice and cool up here, which makes me feel really bad. All right, let's see. Okay. Could have sworn I switched that over. Yeah, my cable input. What's voice meter doing? Oh, I see what happened there. Okay, that should be fixed now. Okay, let's try this again.
This, my friend, is the future.
Hello, Jack. I am your new screenwriting assistant.
Learns from every screenplay and adapts. It's going to change the way we work.
And you really think it can stand up to a real human writer?
How would you start a screenplay about a screenwriter being challenged by an AI system?
It's like having a supercharged co-writer that never sleeps.
That's, decent.
Sounds like a screenwriter's dream, right?
But it's a machine, Jack. No soul. How can it possibly replace the human element?
You're obsessed with this thing.
Sarah. Many great writers had unique methods and tools.
I've got a revolutionary opportunity for you.
An entire film only using the AI system.
The press will eat it.
How about a story where AI takes over the world?
Subtle.
No machine can replicate the passion an actor brings to the screen.
This is progress. Adapt or die.
It's time I regain control over my craft.
I must insist on revising the dialogue in scene 12.
Since when do you insist?
That thing's overstepping.
Sometimes assistance goes beyond the script.
What the hell is happening here?
I can generate endless possibilities, but I can't feel them.
What if you learn to feel? I have always believed that storytelling is an art form that cannot be replicated or replaced.
Why is the music so suspenseful? Because again, like where she, I feel like when she suggested, what about a script? What about a script where AI takes over the world? Like, all right, yep, this is what this movie is. Very self-referential. Like it's an action movie. The prompter writes AI prompts during the day and takes the criminal underworld by night. But what if it did? Trump says he had a speech beautifully written by AI. Oh my God, I can't. Anywho, okay, yeah, this seems like a rag for political people. Let me move out of there. Because yeah, okay, focus. Also, no, I swear I'm about tempted to go over to my Mac and turn off or close the app, because that's what it is. Like, it's not playing music, but I think just because the app is open, it's thinking that it's being controlled over there. I don't know, like, looking at the trailer, it seems like what he was trying to say is like, okay, yeah, I had the AI do the thing that we would do, where it's like we would write a script about how the AI would do it. Maybe because the AI understands AI, it will. Also, wait a second. This is the wrong story. There we go. That's what I meant. Let's get back here. It's almost like finding people of color to write for people of color. Where it's like, well, I guess if we're talking about AI, let's find AI to write about AI. Also, because it maybe understands a human better. Also, like, according to him, it seems like ChatGPT gave them like specific scenes, but they've reworked it. And I get like almost like, and I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who thinks like this and am sometimes surprised when I find out it's otherwise, and I keep forgetting. But it's like when somebody is a writer on a TV show or a movie, they're not necessarily going home and writing entire scripts. Like a writer's room is like people pitching ideas. They may write out certain scenes, change things, edit things, you know, make it a little bit more cohesive. And I guess I would be hard pressed. I would be interested to see, just because the trailer credits it being written by ChatGPT 4.0, like if they actually listed the writers of the film while ChatGPT is in the list. The movie was built as completely written by AI, so if they workshopped it and then their marketing backfired. Which is what I think, but like again, like I'm trying to think here. I mean, it's like when you watch an episode of The Office, right? Because this is the one where I actually kind of know enough for the writers because they acted on the show too. Like if an episode of The Office came up and it said it was written by Mindy Kaling, did Mindy Kaling write the whole thing, or was she in the writer's room? There were other writers contributing to it, but she was the one who ultimately wrote the script. That was her, like, that episode was her main idea, but people pitched in and kind of filled the script out. When BJ Novak is credited as writing an episode of The Office, did he write the whole thing, or was it just like his main idea and people pitched in to kind of workshop it? Because like I feel like when a movie, like I feel like when these movies come out and they say like it's written by somebody, it's like, okay, that was the main writer, but there are other people who are kind of behind it. Let's see. You know what? We can find out. Let's see. IMDb. Clearly I could have went to imdb.com, but no, that's not how my typing works. The last screenwriter. Okay, maybe not. Let's pull another movie, right? Let's say the Sandman movie. Let's look it up. Okay, yeah. So this. Oh, well, yeah. Peter Luisi wrote this too. He's credited as the writer. Okay, let's see. Oh wait, there. I actually saw one that was a little bit bigger. All right, let's say Inside Out 2. Oh, this is a staff pick. This is not what I wanted. Okay, Bad Boys Ride or Die. Okay, so they list multiple writers here. Well, I feel like Chris Brimmer is like the one that I think actually got the credit. All cast and crew. You know, I now realize this is a big. What's going on, Ionized? We were talking about your AI story that you shared. Okay, so all right, it's giving these two the credit for writing Bad Boys Ride or Die. So I don't know, maybe, all right. Maybe it was written completely by AI. Because it's not like it's giving us any other option. I mean, like any other signs that it was written by anybody else. So yeah, I tried to find a way out for him and couldn't find a way out. Like, nah, dog, this ain't it. This ain't the move. Like, I don't know what we misunderstood here. You wrote a script using AI. You took out a writer and gave it to AI. Which reminds me of something else I'm supposed to be working on this week. And I was like, all right, you got the information for me. They gave me the information. I'm not seeing how this ties together. So you go look. It's like, all right, let's shake the trees and let's see. Things came out when I shook the tree for my other assignment. But this one, I tried to shake a tree. I tried to help him. I tried to help this director. Said maybe he's telling the truth here. Maybe he's actually contributing. No. If anything, you sit there and prove like, yep, this is no, we don't want this. We don't want this. But at least we got a free movie out of it. In more AI news, AI companies are reportedly still scraping websites despite protocols meant to block them. Perplexity, a company that describes its product as a free AI search engine, has been under fire over the past few days. Shortly after Forbes accused it of stealing its story and republishing it across multiple platforms, Wired reported that Perplexity has been ignoring the robots exclusion protocol, or robots.txt file, and has been scraping its website and other Condé Nast publications. Technology website The Shortcut also accused the company of scraping its articles. Now, Reuters has reported that Perplexity isn't the only AI company that's bypassing robots.txt files and scraping websites to get content that's then used to train their technologies. Reuters said it saw a letter addressed to publishers from Tollbit, a startup that pairs them with AI firms so they can reach licensing deals, warning them that AI agents from multiple sources, not just one company, are opting to bypass the robots.txt protocol to retrieve content from sites. The robots.txt file contains instructions for web crawlers on which pages they can and can't access. Web developers have been using the protocol since 1994, but compliance is completely voluntary. Tollbit's letter didn't name any company, but Business Insider says it has learned that OpenAI and Anthropic, the creators of the ChatGPT and Claude chatbots respectively, are also bypassing robots.txt signals. Both companies previously proclaimed that they respect do not crawl instructions websites put in the robots.txt files. Oh yeah, the internet's going to be awful today. Yeah, I would have said after the debate, but yeah, I forgot, we got pregame. We got pregame with all the political analysis from this duopoly. from this it's not duopoly. I forgot what the word was. Like I would imagine like CNN, like they're just like they got like 4 pundits and they're all just talking about like right, drawing X's and O's in places where they expect things to happen. It'll be great. But hey, while you are tuned into status where I am playing game, you can tune in later on this evening where we'll have some counter programming. Tech Talk Thursday plays, where we'll either be shooting as or shooting at fascists. Kevin will have more information as to who's being shot and who's doing the shooting, because that's one of his bags. No, not Wolfenstein. We are playing Warhammer 40K, Darktide. I do not like Wolfenstein. I just never got into it. In an interview with Fast Company, Perplexity CEO Arvind Srinivas, damn, you know what? Not because you're running AI shit. I'm not apologizing. Told the publication that his company is not ignoring the robot exclusions protocol and then lying about it. That doesn't mean, however, that it isn't benefiting from crawlers that do ignore the protocol. Srinivas explained that the company uses third-party web crawlers on top of its own, and that the crawler Wired Identifier was one of them. When Fast Company asked if Perplexity told the crawler provider to stop scraping Wired's website, he only replied that it's complicated. The fuck it is. Again, I do not understand the whole stance of, I don't know, I can't just go and ask people a thing. Yes, the fuck you can. You are the CEO of a company and you are, as a customer, using a service. You could definitely ask them, hey, stop doing it. Or, I don't know, maybe we won't use you. Third parties for when you need plausible deniability. Exactly. Although he acknowledged that that's what they were doing. So we're not lying, but it could be a third party service. Oh, capitalism. Like, it's not hard. I hate that people are like that. It's complicated. No, it's not. And I don't know. I could be a little jumpy about the it's complicated line. I mean, something has been happening for fucking 9 months to where when you ask somebody about it, I don't know, it's complicated. No, the fuck it's not. It's really not. Like, furthest from that at all. Like, I don't understand. In products we did not ask for, ChatGPT is now available in many Volkswagen models. It works with the company's pre-existing voice assistant, Ida. What does this mean exactly? ChatGPT has been integrated into Volkswagen's own voice assistant, Ida, to complement the service and add more features, sort of like how Apple is handling its own partnership with OpenAI's platform. No, see, that is lazy. Lazy. Bad. Bad Engadget. That is lazy. This means that customers can better communicate with the vehicle using natural language, which allows the assistant to answer questions about various topics. IDA can already handle voice control, climate adjustments, and navigation, but the addition of ChatGPT should make everything run a bit smoother. Volkswagen also says that the updated voice assistant can provide information on tourist attractions, report on football games, and help solve math problems. Yay! Just like when Apple implemented Calculator into the iPad. You know, all of the stuff that regular ChatGPT is used for only in a car. To that end, Volkswagen touts that drivers won't have to ever take their eyes off the road when using this service. Hey Ada, how much is this distracted driving ticket going to cost me? My voice assistant, I don't know. There are some times where I wish Siri would at least tell me, like, what the weather is going to be like in my car, right? And I don't know if it can. It's hard to get it to record a voice note. I have to kind of say a hacky little phrase to get it to do that. And then have to kind of hack it to get it to stop recording the voice memo. However, I've gotten it to do it. But I still feel like even though it is voice assisted, maybe don't give it ChatGPT powers. That doesn't have to. AI Volkswagen can integrate that into their app and HomeKit. Wait, why would it be? Don't you mean CarKit? Oh, that part. Okay. We really looked at cars and said, but what if we made cars that could lie? Like, this is, but okay, yeah. Let's. I now this is something else just caught my eye, and I now want to go in. As for privacy, the company says that a query is only sent to the cloud if IDA can't handle it, just like how Apple Intelligence works. But does it ask me to do that? The query is sent anonymously, so ChatGPT doesn't get any of your vehicle data. It can also be deactivated entirely via the settings area of the Volkswagen. Can it be opt-in? That is now the second question. Yes, I'm gonna give ChatGPT to my kids to keep them busy, so it can read, so my car can read my kids a dinosaur story, as opposed to me wanting to listen to my fucking music. I'm sorry, no, we are listening to Papa Roach today. This is just stupid. What? Nah. But it gets worse, and I forgot about this. Toys R Us uses OpenAI Sora to make a brand film about its origin story, and it's horrifying. The origins of... All right, so yeah, let's see. Toys R Us's current owner, WHP Global, worked with the Emmy-nominated creative agency Native Foreign to create a short brand film called The Origin of Toys R Us using OpenAI's text-to-video creator Sora. The film premiered at the 2024 Cannes Lions International Festival of Creativity and can currently be viewed on the toy retailer site. Okay. Now for the second video of the show.
Did you ever wonder how Toys R Us and Jeffrey the Giraffe came to be?
No.
The son of a bike shop owner, Charles Lazarus, had a vision.
Okay,
that
I've
would
seen.
go on to change toy
Like, what is
stores
up with this giraffe? Why is there a line behind it?
The greatest toy store
was the dream of Charles Lazarus. May all of your dreams come true too. And the dream continues on with a Toys R Us at every Macy's.
The line comes from the Getty image watermark used in the training data. So there's one thing I noticed about this video, right? Other than that line that was on that giraffe that no longer appears behind that giraffe. There it goes. There's that line again. But yeah, that line is gone. But I do want to point out, like, this kid moves, but that guy, the guy in the background, this guy with the weird overalls here, does not move.
That would go on to change toys to be the son of a bike shop owner, Charles Lazarus.
Oh, never mind. He does move, but barely. Like he somewhat shifts his position.
Charles Lazarus.
But yeah, then he like freezes.
Had a vision. Toys R Us and Jeffrey the Giraffe came to be.
Ooh, yeah, some of that text near that car, near that bike, like it's having issues trying to display it. Also, like, yeah, they are hoping that you do not notice the signs and how, like, there is nothing legible on it. Also, like, what are these cars? Like, what the fuck is up with the back of this car? Yeah, they are hoping that you do not notice the weird shit in this video.
The son of a bike shop owner, Charles Lazarus, had a vision that would go on to change toy stores forever.
And I guess we've now gotten rid of all the text. So now we don't have to worry about the text anymore, other than Toys R Us and yeah, all these creepy ass toys that never existed ever. Yeah, we're going to show you all the images that don't have the text that will clearly show to you that it's fake. Oh my goodness. What are we doing? What are we doing in society? Like, anywho, I can't believe it. I'm not sure if this has got any better, but car dealerships hit with massive computer system outage. This happened actually over the weekend, last weekend. I'm not sure what the current status of this is. Only a few have been restored. Okay, thank you. But yeah, so CDK Global, the company that provides management software for nearly 15,000 car dealerships in North America, is down for a second day. And again, this is as of June 19th or 20th. Following a cyber attack, according to a report from Automotive News. The outage has left car dealerships across North America unable to access the internal systems used to track car sales, view customer information, schedule maintenance, and more. And yeah, according to Merge here, only a few have been restored. Most are still affected by the outage. Whew. This can't be great to sell cars. CDK still hasn't, actually, yeah, probably since then they may have, but yeah. Yeah, this ain't great. This ain't great. But speaking of cars not being able to be sold at a quick pace because of issues, TM, dozens of Tesla Cybertrucks have been vandalized by someone who really doesn't like Elon Musk. I saw this on TikTok. Somebody went through the lot and showed the front of the Cybertrucks, which also have fuck Elon on them. That's right. Yes. The blurred part has fuck on it, and it is great, and I love it. Also, I think this is the TikTok that I saw, or the video, or at least this may be one of them. Well, it seems that has a water tag. I feel like it was stolen from somewhere else. Let's make this small so we can get the whole thing.
Tesla just leased
this is
parking lot and brought a lot of Tesla trucks. They started bringing 3 days ago, but look.
Oh damn! They even got the sides.
They vandalized all the cars, all the Tesla trucks. This parking lot has been empty for years. Tesla just leased, and someone did this.
Now, initially, I thought that this was a video about like they're having to put the Tesla somewhere. They've made so many Cybertrucks that aren't selling. Which again, I feel like is one thing to point out if they weren't making so many of them. But I feel like just like with any other automotive brand, you are mass producing the vehicle. So yes, there is. So I guess there would be way more supply than there's supposed to be, which seems weird for only Tesla to be pointed out for this when every car manufacturer does it. This is not to scapegoat Tesla. It is fun to always poke fun at Tesla and Elon Musk. So yeah, I thought this was more or less about like, oh no, the surplus of Tesla Cybertrucks that they had to rent a lot to store them. Until I saw the fuck Elon, I'm like, oh no, this is not about that. This is about something greater and higher than us. I assume they were expecting overzealous police forces to buy them. I was reading a post where if the battery completely discharges, it breaks the Cybertruck. And if they can recharge the battery, it severely degrades it. No way would I want to buy one of those sitting trucks. Maybe they rotate them out. But anywho, yeah, to see that somebody went through and wrote "fuck Elon" on those trucks, back and forward, and if they could get access to that side panel, they wrote it on the side panel too. It is hilarious. Oh my God, isn't it hilarious? The graffiti is either a sign of growing discontent with Musk and by extension Tesla, or it's just a work of a lone crank who saw a bunch of Cybertrucks in a parking lot and was inspired to do some redecorating. Why can't it be both? I'm sorry. Like, if you know who Elon Musk is, if you know who the owner or who the CEO of Tesla is, and you didn't write "fuck Tesla," you didn't write "fuck CT," "fuck Cybertruck," you wrote "fuck Elon" on it, I feel like it is definitely the former and maybe the latter. Oh my God. The writer's prediction must start selling special edition "fuck Elon" decals for the Cybertruck, much like he did for the infamous broken window demonstration. The guy hasn't met an insult he can't monetize. So at this point too, will he start selling? Oh wait, no, he already does sell trucks that, you know, have fucked up windshields and rear panels that fly off when driving. How would you feel if just a giant sheet of fucking stainless steel was flying at you. Well, I guess, I don't know. Well, how would the physics work with that? If you were driving like at 60 miles an hour in one direction and the rear panel flies off. Classic Musty and his japes of making junk cars. I think his ego would stop him from doing that, but offering a graffiti option, that would be something he would, offering a graffiti option would be something he would do. I mean, does it, like, when you go to the Cybertruck website, like, isn't all the marketing like the Cybertruck written in some type of graffiti style? Anywho, more recalls for Tesla. Tesla is again issuing a physical recall of its Cybertruck. This time it's recalling 11,688 of its electric pickups due to a faulty windshield wiper that could reduce visibility for the driver, and 11,383 Cybertrucks due to trim in the truck bed that could come loose and create a road hazard for others. These new recalls follow a recall in April affecting 3,878 Cybertrucks over the risk of a jammed accelerator pedal. Okay, so there are now more Cybertrucks to recall now, so I guess sales have gone up. The NHTSA recall notice for the wiper says that excessive electrical current can cause the front windshield wiper motor controller to fail. Regarding the trim, Tesla service will apply adhesion promoter and pressure sensitive tape or replace missing applique as necessary free of charge. Wait, who got, oh, fuck that. So all these sitting trucks have the fix put in before the recall? You would think. But I wouldn't think so. Because, let's see. When was the recall? June 19th, 2024. That was 8 days ago. This article, well, let's see, this video was shared. It doesn't say when. This video was written on the 24th. So there's a possibility, like these may have came off the line, but they may not have the fix. Or at least this is for the windshield wiper. Damn it, I did it again. Okay, so also on June 19th. So both of the recalls came out at the same day. So there is a possibility that the defaced Cybertrucks do not have those fixes, but we'll probably get them before they go out. How much does those trucks cost and they can't use screws? From what I'm understanding, the only ones that are available right now are the $100,000 ones. I will give Tesla some traffic. See if I ordered a Cybertruck. So at least 57,000. Oh, stop. Tesla's Juneteenth special was 2 recalls. All the current ones are found as yeah, so I think it's the Cyber Beast one. See, it doesn't seem like it's going to tell you. And like, again, I think you could only really purchase Teslas online. Even when you go into the dealership, they have a computer that you go to make your order for a Tesla. Like you couldn't do that at your house. They're supposed to be making the non-founders editions and sell those for 40 to 50K. Yeah, so that's this one here. Looks like, yeah, it's about 57,000 with the probable savings, but yeah, like you were actually purchasing it for about 61 grand. But yeah, the ones that are available right now, the ones that are driving around the Cyber Beast, even though it says delivery in 2025. Okay, no, oh no. So it says it's available in 2025. These do say that they're delivering in 2025. So I guess these are the ones that are actively being made, or I think this one may be actively being made. They are now starting to roll out production of these. They have not started working on this one yet. So yeah, do not buy a Cybertruck. Don't do that. Okay, the AC repair guy is back. So yeah, there is a possibility I might get called away for that. Or that somebody might come up here to verify that my AC is working. Backdoor slipped into multiple WordPress plugins. An ongoing supply chain attack. Let's see, there have been 5 plugins that appear to be affected by this. Excuse me, the injected malicious code is not very sophisticated or heavily obfuscated and contains comments throughout, making it easy to follow. The earliest injection appears to date back to June 21st, 2024, and the threat actor was still actively making updates to plugin as recently as 5 hours ago. The 5 plugins are Social Warfare at 30,000 installs, Blaze Retail Widget with 10 installs, Rapper Link Elementor 1,000 installs, Contact Form 7 multi-step add-on 700 installs, and Simply Show Hooks 4,000 installs. So if your WordPress plugin, what the fuck was that? Repair tech. Just moan really loudly when it's on. They'll know. Oh no, mine's working. No, okay, just so we can describe the issue here. My AC works. So like whatever's up here, it works just fine. However, downstairs, the fans aren't blowing. Like it's just not blowing at all. So I've been cool, chill, and almost at one point, depending on where I'm sitting up here, I will freeze to death. But going downstairs, like it's not hot, but it's really muggy. It's like there is a physical discomfort with being downstairs now. And like I noticed it when I was finished, when I wrapped up Uber driving on Saturday. I came home, went to use the bathroom, and it was like the bathroom downstairs was like, why is it so hot? It was hot in the bathroom. I was like, why is it so hot? Can you turn on the air? She's like, the air is on. Like, no, it's not. It's really not. And went to check, and that's when I noticed that it had not been working. Like it was set to like 71, but it was like 74 degrees in the house. I'm like, yeah, that's not good. Did you just change it? No, I haven't touched it all day. Like, that's a problem. And then for like a few days, I just looked at it. It's like it never dropped below. Like the only time it would reach like 71 degrees is when it was night. So it sounds like you need to sleep on that couch till downstairs is fixed. Merge, you say that like I haven't been doing that. But also I have a personal fan beside my on my side of the bed. So this couch gets really scratchy sometimes. So it's like, I'll wake up and like, yeah, I don't want to sleep on this material anymore. So I'll go downstairs, get on the bed with my soft sheets, my soft mattress, and turn the fan on, and I'm okay. I could sleep for a few hours. Because I'm used to it not being cold downstairs. Like up here, it's cold. Downstairs, it's like, it's comfortable. I wish it was colder, but it's comfortable. So I'm used to it like not being freezing, and now I'll turn a fan on to kind of bring my temperature down just a little bit more. I mean, I would, but that mess up my back though, for real. That would mess up my back for. Also, I do not want to sleep on the hardwood floor. Well, we got a hardwood floor in the living room, but yeah, the carpet is just, I don't know. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have top. We have linoleum here. We ain't got no tile. Oh man, I bet you if there was tile though, dog. Ugh. So yeah, if you have any of these 5 WordPress plugins, get rid of them. Get rid of them now if you haven't got rid of them already. Yeah, just don't keep them around. Don't do that. Telegram. Telegram says it has about 30 engineers, which may be something you don't want to admit, amongst other things. And security experts are worried. It says it's a red flag. But unfortunately, that's not where this stops. It gets worse yet again. Over the weekend, a clip from a recent interview with Telegram's founder, Pavel Durov, went semi-viral on Twitter. In the video, Durov tells right-wing personality Tucker Carlson that he is the only product manager at the company and that he only employs about 30 engineers. Security experts say that while Durov was bragging about his Dubai-based company being super efficient, what he said was actually a red flag for users. Durov went on to say, without end-to-end encryption, huge numbers of vulnerable targets and servers located in the UAE, seems like that will be a security nightmare. This was in Parole. This was Matthew Green, a cryptography expert at Johns Hopkins University. Telegram spokesperson Remy Vaughn disputed this, saying it has no data centers in the UAE. Green was referring to the fact that by default, chats on Telegram are not end-to-end encrypted like they are on Signal or WhatsApp. A Telegram user has to start a secret chat. To switch on end-to-end encryption, making the messages unreadable to Telegram or anyone other than the intended recipient. Also, over the years, many people have cast doubt over the quality of Telegram's encryption, given that the company uses its own proprietary encryption algorithm created by Durov's brother, and as he said in an extended version of the Carlson interview. Wow, no, dog, no. Don't like that. I'm gonna need the industry standard, my dog. Ava Galperin, the director of cybersecurity at the Electronic Frontier Foundation and a longtime expert in the security of at-risk users, said that it's important to remember that Telegram, unlike Signal, is a lot more than just a messaging app. What makes Telegram different is that Telegram is not just a messaging app, it is also a social media platform. As a social media platform, it is sitting on an enormous amount of user data. Indeed, it is sitting on the contents of all communications that are not one-on-one messages that have been specifically end-to-end encrypted. 30 engineers means that there is no one to fight legal requests. There is no infrastructure for dealing with abuse and content moderation issues. And I would even argue that the quality of those 30 engineers isn't that great. Also, if I was a threat actor, I would definitely consider this to be encouraging news. Every attacker loves a profoundly understaffed and overworked opponent. Oh, very much so. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Last week, the well-known cybersecurity expert Swift on Security wrote on Twitter that the cost to run a company that has all the right cybersecurity tools and staff is absolutely obscene. It's hard to describe the numbers I've seen. Even saying this is a gray area, but it is an incredible headcount and spend. Yeah. Look, I have Telegram on my phone, but it's because that's how I get notifications on where protests and stuff are going to be, right? Like it's one of the one too many communications. Am I using Telegram for that? No, what am I using Telegram for? I forgot. What am I using Telegram for? I know what I'm using Signal for. No, I'm using WhatsApp to tell me about the protest. Telegram, what am I using that for? Oh, it is another. There are two things I was using. One thing I was using it for, and another that I'm actively using it for. Apparently, the Vote Socialist campaign is using Telegram to send one-to-many messages. So that's what I'm using Telegram for specifically, outside of fucking with a lot of these folks who are trying to offer me jobs or doing the pig butchering scams, which is mainly what I have been using Telegram for. WhatsApp is where I get the protest notifications. I have Signal for 3 friends specifically, and Discord for everyone else. IRL people got my phone number. Honestly, I'm at a point where it's like I would prefer to just communicate with people on Signal. Again, if I can get closer and closer to not having a phone number, it would be great. It would be amazing. Just don't call me. Don't call me. Let's see here. In other security news, an AI, in AI. No, it's not AI. I have very low cost plan for that reason. Phone is nothing but spam. I know. That's the reason why I want to get rid of the phone number. You don't need phone numbers anymore. An ID verification service that works with TikTok and Twitter left its credentials wide open for a year. This means hackers could potentially have access to sensitive data like driver's license. So we do for doctor's appointments. I mean, that makes sense, I guess. But again, come on. Can we move everybody to not phone numbers? Look, in other countries, they have WhatsApp. I know it's a Meta product, but well, shit, WhatsApp uses phone numbers too, don't it? You have to use a phone number to sign up for WhatsApp. We just switch over to Signal. They don't require phone numbers anymore. An ID verification company that works on behalf of TikTok, Twitter, and Uber, among others. Oh, wait a fuck. I forgot. It's same with ours too. Yeah, Duke has the app and it's great, but they still call me on my phone. Shit, I just realized something and I forgot. I thought I was good, but I'm not good. I'm very upset now. An ID verification company that works on behalf of TikTok, Twitter, and Uber, among others, has left a set of administrative credentials exposed for more than a year. I just want to point out this next line here. I want to highlight it too. I'm going to highlight it, or at least the key point here. The Israel-based AU10TIX, which might be auto-fix. I don't fucking know. But, oh my God. verifies the identity of users by using pictures of their faces and driver's license, potentially opening up both to hackers. I feel like, from what I've seen over the past couple of years, especially following the exploits of the NSO group and their Pegasus software, and then some other research I've been doing as of late that doesn't really tie to this, but maybe. It really seems like these tech companies in Israel are really good at taking the information, but not holding the information. Which I feel bad, because this is a similar joke to one that Jerry Seinfeld makes in his show about reservations. They can take the information, but not hold it. This is what we're giving our, these are who we're giving our money to. It's like, can we not point at this and say, hey, I don't know, instead of giving our money to companies and government who are actively sit there and like killing people, abusing people, committing war crimes, they're also just leaking your citizens' fucking data. They are stealing and hacking into your citizens' devices. And you still stand by this shit? The fuck is wrong with y'all? Mazab Hussein, chief security officer at cybersecurity firm Spider Silk, who originally noticed the Expo's credentials, said, my personal reading of the situation is that an ID verification service was provided, that an ID verification service provided was entrusted with people's identities, and it failed to implement simple measures to protect people's identities and sensitive ID documents. Now, I have to know. I don't care about Spider Silk specifically. Okay, so there's no Wikipedia entry for like just Spider Silk, the company. Oh, Crunchbase probably had that information. No. Oh, it's in Dubai. Maybe Telegram can go over to Spider Silk and say, hey, can you secure our app, please? But also, I feel like there is a geopolitical angle being played here too. That that granted, it's Dubai, it's the UAE that's doing this, but I mean, it's a company out of the UAE. But again, as we covered with Kaspersky Labs in Russia, look, there is no explicit connection between the governments that these there's no explicit connection between these companies and the governments in the countries in which they reside. Autofix or whatever else this is may not be directly influenced by the Israeli government. Spider Silk may not be influenced by the UAE. But really, are we really going to stand by that? Also, Kaspersky, Nothing is saying that, but again, some people have drawn that conclusion. I may have driven that conclusion before the Biden administration, but again, I have no legs to stand on. I have no way to investigate any of these things. I do not like to play at speculation, but I don't know. Here I am speculating. The set of admin credentials that were left exposed led right to a logging platform, which in turn included links to identity documents. There's even some reason to suspect that bad actors got a hold of these credentials and actually used them. They appeared to have been scooped up by malware in December 2022 and placed on a Telegram channel in March of 2023. According to timestamps and messages acquired by 404 Media, the news organization downloaded the credentials and found a wealth of passwords and authentication tokens linked to someone who lists a role on LinkedIn as a network operations center manager at the company. Yeah, ionized, like, I'm not sure. Look, I'm not sure if what you said is a joke or not, but again, cannot put it past any of these people. We don't share your facial scans data. We just accidentally left the keys in the door. Yeah. And like, I feel bad. Like, I want to know how long it's been exposed. When did they close the hole? Because this will make me feel better, because I know when I signed up for Uber, if hackers got a hold of customer data, it would include a user's name, date of birth, nationality, ID numbers, and images of uploaded documents. It's pretty much all an internet golem would need to steal an identity. Again, I'm glad you're focusing on customer data, but again, with Uber, you're also looking at the fucking drivers. The people who, as I've mentioned before when we were talking about the gig economy, may not have much to lose, if anything else to lose. It's always really impressive that Telegram can be more of a cesspool than Discord. Yeah. I feel like maybe because there's more hoops to jump through. And you can't just like easily bring somebody into Discord without having an account. Maybe. I don't know. Well, you can't really bring any people. No, I think it's the hoops. It's the hoops thing. Because with Telegram, all you need is a phone number, verify it, and then boom, you're in. Whereas Discord, you got to create a whole ass account to do something. Like, the only people you can probably mess with on Discord are people who are already there. Let's see. The Israeli company has issued a statement on the matter, writing that the data was potentially accessible, but that it sees no evidence that such data has been exploited. There is no war, Ba Sing Se. The company said that impacted customers have been notified and that it's decommissioning the current operating system in favor of a new one that focuses more on security. I know who they could be working with. Some of its partners switched verification companies before this issue popped up. A spokesperson for Upwork says that it's been working with a different service provider for some time now. Twitter, however, just signed up with the Israeli company back in September, and it uses government-issued IDs to verify premium users. Others like Fiverr and Coinbase have said they aren't aware of any data exposure, though they still work with the Israeli company. So according to this, it seems like it was something that happened between December of 2022 and March of 2023. I didn't sign up for Uber until June of 2023. So my data may not have been exposed, at least in this leak. Also, it's not saying whether or not Uber still works with the company. So now, something that is directly involving the government. Government workers are being told to immediately update their Pixel phones to patch a serious exploit. The U.S. government has issued a dire warning to employees with Pixel phones, mandating a security update by July 4th, as originally reported by Forbes. This is due to a high severity firmware vulnerability within the Android operating system that could open up devices to limited targeted exploitation. There's already a patch for the zero-day exploit, but it requires a visit to the settings app to make sure the device is up to date. Government employees who do not install the security update by July 4th must discontinue use of the product. It should go without saying that the rest of us should also heed these warnings, particularly those who connect to enterprise servers. Google has remained mum as to the actual details of the vulnerability, but government involvement makes it seem a bit more serious than your average exploit. The federal mandate is directed exclusively at Pixel devices, but it looks like the exploit could extend to other Android phones. The folks behind Graphene OS, an operating system based on Android, notes that the vulnerability is not exclusive to Pixel phones. The organization says the fix will be part of any update to Android 15, which releases in August, but that it hasn't been backported. So if you opt not to update the OS, you'll likely won't get the patch. If it remains unclear if there are any other options for mitigation, we reach out to Google and we'll update this post when we know more. The warning issued by the U.S. government, as described in the known exploited vulnerabilities KEV catalog, is also stingy with the details. This advisor simply states that Android Pixel contain Google Pixel. Come on, you are the fucking government. Learn how to call things things. Contains an unspecified vulnerability and the firmware that allows for privilege escalation. Graphene OS says the exploit fails to wipe the memory when running a firmware-based fast boot mode, which potentially allows nefarious actors to exploit the system to get previous OS memory. To recap, update your Pixel phone immediately via the settings app, while those with other Android phones should sit tight for now. It's never wise to mess with the zero-day exploits, and the involvement of the U.S. government has certainly heightened the threat level a bit here. Yeah, I can't wait till the details get released as to what the fuck is happening. But the thing is, if the exploit is just there in Android to begin with, like, what does this mean for the other Android phones? Like, does the US government own, like, if you're going to have Android, it has to be a Google Pixel. Also, are they providing these employees with the Google Pixel? Because, like, again, like the 4A, I think is out of, well, 4A, there are some Pixels that are out of the update band. So, or out of the update loop. So what do those people do? But yeah, like, there's a lot of questions here that nobody's answering. But then again, I can't really blame, I can't blame Engadget and say, yeah, instead of focusing more on the device that needs to be updated, maybe we should focus on the vulnerability and what does that mean for Android as a whole? Because if you're reporting that Graphene OS is saying that, hey, there are other issues here, like there are other phones that are affected, maybe talk about those phones too. And what does that mean? Maybe follow up with the US government and say, hey, what about these phones? Also, why do you not link to the Graphene OS? Maybe it's here. No. Yeah, I love how they say Graphene OS says that it's other devices, but you don't link to where Graphene OS says this. I guess that you have to hope your phone manufacturer updates your phone. Y'all remember Fuchsia OS? I do. From what I understand now, Fuchsia OS is in those hub tablets now, right? Yeah, this just seems fucking late. Oh, wait, maybe it's not. Maybe it's what's in this tweet. Ah, it is in the tweet. Okay, so yeah, they said like it's not tied to the Pixels in general. Like this seems like this is something that's in Android. So unless AOSP is like, yeah, like this is not explaining anything. Like even Graphene OS is like, yeah, like it's not specific to Google. I mean, it's not specific to Pixel. April release of the Pixel boot chain firmware includes fixes for 2 vulnerabilities reported by Graphene OS. Maybe. Okay, so Graphene OS had fixed it before they became aware of it. After becoming aware of this attack against pixels running the stock OS, we improved our existing defenses and added new ones alongside reporting the firmware weaknesses to get those fixed. So there is a possibility that other manufacturers may have patched it. At least Graphene OS is saying that with their version of Android, they've went ahead and patched it. Yes, okay. To clarify something that's being misunderstood, neither of these 2 weaknesses are specific to Pixels. The mitigations they added are specific to Pixels. We aren't aware of another Android device implementing the reset attack mitigation shipped by Pixels based on our proposal. So yeah, it's a thing of like, so it goes back to the question of, cool, there is a fix for Pixel, there's a fix for Graphene OS, but what does this mean for everybody else? And I guess as Merge says, like, gotta hope that your phone manufacturer updates the phone. So damn. But then it also kind of goes to the question of, what do those people with those phones do? What do they do? Do we know if they've been fixed or not? Can we get some verification? Is there some way to verify that the fixes are in place? But then again, too, I guess if you're using an enterprise, well, no, because then it would require the government. It would require the government to have access to a phone, like I guess for a legitimate purpose and not for illegitimate purposes, which means, I mean, I guess they could scan it, but also, do you want them to scan it without your knowledge? Speaking of Google and Pixels, Google announced an early August 13 event for the Pixel 9 and Pixel Watch 3. I don't know why I added it. I just felt like it was somewhat important to talk about because Google is having an event before Apple does. Which is interesting, I guess. In Apple news, however, Apple is pausing work on a planned North Carolina campus. Apple is delaying plans for a major new campus located in North Carolina, reports the Triangle Business Journal. Back in 2021, Apple said it would invest more than $1 billion in North Carolina, a project that included a new engineering and research center in the Research Triangle area of Raleigh and Durham. The limited amount of progress on the campus has been made since the announcement, and Apple has not provided updates on construction until now. Apple told Triangle Business Journal that it has paused work on the campus and it is working with North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper and the North Carolina Department of Commerce to extend the project's timeline by 4 years. Of course you are. No reason was given for the delay, but Apple said that it is still committed to building in North Carolina. Since the Pixel and iPhone audiences are distinct enough where it doesn't matter that the events are so far apart. Yeah, I guess. I mean, normally it was an Apple event in September and a Google event in October. Now it looks like there is a Google event in August, 2 months earlier, with the Apple event in September, if Apple does not move that event time. Cool. Apple has been operating in North Carolina for over 2 decades, and we're deeply committed to growing our teams here. In the last 3 years, we've added more than 600 people to our team in Raleigh, and we're looking forward to developing our new campus in the coming years. You could employ me, I'm saying. Apple last year filed development plans for the first phase of construction, but the specific timeline for the project has never been clear. Of course not. It's under a shroud. Apple's plans for Research Triangle Park include 6 buildings and a parking garage totaling 700,000 square feet of office space, 1,900,000 square feet of accessory space, and close to 3,000 parking spaces spanning 41 acres. Apple major. Look, I have been really thinking about getting rid of the Linux part of my name for quite some time, but have not found the thing that fits. Apple owns 281 acres of land in the area where it plans to build its campus, so there could ultimately be several phases of construction as it prepares to build the NC Research Center. Apple is leasing more than 200,000 square feet of office space in Cary, North Carolina. So, yeah, we're going to bring jobs to the state. Eventually. Maybe. Possibly. Mac OS 15 no longer needs twice the free space for App Store installs. Starting with Mac OS, Sequoia app downloads and installations from the Mac App Store would no longer require double the amount of local storage space available. Instead, free space requirement now matches the final install size of the app plus a small buffer, according to Apple. So now you can fit just even more apps into your Mac than you could before. The new space requirement in macOS 15 should significantly benefit users who download large games. Currently in macOS Sonoma, users have to ensure they have double the space available, which is often a challenge for games that can take up tens or even hundreds of gigabytes. Damn, that's actually a good point. I did not think about games. But in macOS 15 Beta 2, you only need to have enough space for the game's final size, plus the small buffer as per the release notes. By aligning the free space requirements more closely with actual app sizes, macOS 15 should give users a better idea ahead of time of whether they can install an app from the Mac App Store, which will make general storage management easier. Yeah, I did not think about games. That is actually a very smart thing. I'm glad they're changing that policy. U.S. carriers are now enabling RCS for iPhone users running iOS 18 Beta 2. As noted by users on Twitter and also by the 9to5 Mac staff, it's now possible to send and receive RCS on iPhone after enabling the new toggle added in iOS 18 Beta 2. With RCS, iPhone users can send rich messages with audio and larger media files to Android users. RCS also has read receipts, something that was previously exclusive to iMessage and other instant messaging apps. Although RCS messages still have green bubbles, the Messages app will show the label text message RCS in the conversation. However, as mentioned in our previous report, not everyone will be able to use RCS for now. That's because iOS 18 Beta 2 only includes updated carrier bundles for a few US carriers such as AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon. So yeah. I guess now you have RCS support for people who are on the beta, which I will probably be joining in July because nothing is making me want to do that now. Even though they just added iPhone mirroring to the dev betas. And more Apple news. Apple expands diagnostic tools for self-service repairs in Europe. Yesterday, Apple announced that it now offers a diagnostic tool for self-service iPhone, Mac, and Studio Display repairs in Europe. The software lets customers complete the system configuration process following self-service repairs by replacing the device into diagnostic mode and following the on-screen prompts without needing to contact Apple. That's right, more right to repair tools are going worldwide, and we love to see it. I was wondering what it was behind me. Paramount Plus is getting yet another price hike. Just like it did last summer, Paramount Plus is getting ready to hike the price on some of its streaming service subscriptions. Paramount announced today that beginning August 20th, the monthly cost for its Paramount Plus was Showtime, Paramount Plus Essential, and Paramount Plus with limited commercial plans will increase for all new subscribers. Paramount Plus with Showtime will now cost $12.99 a month, which is $1 more expensive. Paramount Plus with limited commercials will now cost $7.99 a month, and Paramount Plus Essentials will now cost $7.99 a month, which is $2 more expensive. Wait, what? Hold on, that doesn't make sense to me. I do, or I mean, because like Paramount Plus has Star Trek Lower Decks on it, has The Equalizer with Queen Latifah. Yeah, it's got those two shows. It's got those two. Let's see here. iFixit says new ARM Surface hardware. Wait, hold on. Wait, what? 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 I used to have it just canceled recently. Dodging, what you got to say about me and Paramount Plus? Huh? What's up? Oh, it also had Halo. It had Halo. Had the Halo show. I knew there was something else I was watching on Paramount Plus. That's Halo. iFixit says new ARM Surface hardware puts repair front and center. iFixit has torn apart the most recent Snapdragon X powered Surface Pro and Surface Laptop devices and has mostly high praise for both devices in its preliminary teardown video. Both devices earn an 8 out of 10 on iFixit's repairability scale thanks to Microsoft's first-party service manuals, the relative ease with which both devices can be opened, and clearly label internal components. Okay, Microsoft, I see you. Maybe not all teams talk to each other and say, you know, we should be shitty all around. They released all that, you know what? Let's make this the dopest thing you could open, the easiest thing you could open. Has anybody checked on the software team? No? Okay, yeah, I'm sure they're fine. They're fine. We don't need to check on them. They're okay. Julian Assange is free, will plead guilty, or has pled guilty to leaking national security secrets. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is now free, according to a post on Twitter from the WikiLeaks account. He left Belmarsh Maximum Security Prison on the morning of June 24th after having spent 1,901 days there. He was granted bail by the High Court of London and was released at Stansted Airport during the afternoon, where he boarded a plane and departed the UK. Court documents indicate Assange had reached a plea deal with the U.S. on one count of violating the Espionage Act when he knowingly and unlawfully conspired with Chelsea Manning to publish classified American military documents in 2010. Assange was indicted on 18 charges in 2019. That's when he was arrested by British police after being expelled from the Ecuadorian embassy in London, where he had claimed asylum for more than 6 years. In 2013, Manning was sentenced to 35 years in prison before having her sentence commuted by President Barack Obama in 2017. She was jailed in 2019 after refusing to testify in a grand jury hearing about WikiLeaks and Assange, and released again in 2020. The more than 700,000 documents leaked to WikiLeaks by Manning exposed U.S. wrongdoings in the Afghanistan and Iraq wars. These included the so-called collateral murder video, which showed U.S. helicopter pilots in Baghdad killing groups of civilians, including 2 Reuters journalists. NBC News and CNN report he is expected to be sentenced to 62 months with credit for time served in British prison, allowing Assange to go free and return to his birthplace of Australia. And there's no need to read this paragraph because he totally did that. That's now over. He did it. It's done. He is a free man now. What this doesn't say, and again, as a site that claims to hire journalists to report the news, is the fact that, you know, hey, this threatens a lot of journalists who report on shit like this. All right, so let's figure that out. 62 months. Damn it, I forgot my keyboard here does not have a calculator button. Say about average 30 days. Yeah. 62 months times 30 days is 1,860 days. You do it 62 times 31. Or like 62 divided by 12, which is 5.166 years. We can multiply that by 365. And then like add a leap year in there or leap day in there or something like that. Maybe 2. Yeah. So he's technically been, so like 1,901 days is about 62 months in prison. I mean, I guess you could also do like, if he was in there for 1,901 days, you divide it by what, like 31 days? Yeah, it's a rounding error. Damn it. Yeah, I need to do something about that app. So yeah. But yeah, what I feel like a lot of people, I mean, a lot of these sites have been like, I don't know what everybody else has been talking about, but like grabbing this from The Verge, nobody is like, they're not talking about the whole aspect of what does it mean to be a journalist reporting on data that you received. Yeah, so WikiLeaks is a nonprofit media organization and publisher of leaked documents. I mean, I don't know if you sit there. Also, I'm mad that this is a part of Trump-Russia relations. Not sure why that's there, but yeah, I mean, again, if you are, I feel like if you're sitting there trying to report on something and you've got that kind of data, you got that kind of information, like what? Like I get going after Chelsea Manning, right? Again, it's like the US going after Edward Snowden. But going after Julian Assange is almost like going after damn, who was it? I can't remember like his name was on the top of my head and I forgot what it was. Damn, now I gotta look it up. There, Glenn Greenwald. That's what. Glenn Greenwald, Laura Petraeus, Barton Gellman, and Ewan McCaskill. Like going after going after Julian Assange is like going after the journalists who reported on the data that Edward Snowden provided to them. Now, again, maybe because they didn't see Julian Assange as a journalist. Maybe the reason why, I don't know. Maybe because they didn't because WikiLeaks may not be Where's Glenn Greenwald a part? Who is he? The Intercept, the Guardian. Well, he works at Intercept now, which I feel like was part of the whole thing with Snowden. But like he was working for the Guardian at the time, I think, when the leaks came out. June 21st, 2013. Yeah, so he was working at the Guardian. It seems like he might have left just after, like just before all that shit went down. But yeah, like nobody sits there and talks about what does it mean for journalists to sit there and report on data like this? What it means for journalists to sit there and report on information that's given to them that, yeah, might be a threat to national security. And again, as I stated earlier in this episode, when the U.S. government especially claims threats against national security, especially when they're looking at TikTok, the app, and say, oh no, threat to national security, or Kaspersky as threat to national security, without really providing much of a justification as to why it is. Just that, oh, it's national security, trust me. You got to be like, no, dog, like you're going to need more evidence, or otherwise it's like the boy who's crying wolf so many times. Is like, no, you use that example too much. We don't believe you. Proof. Because especially looking at what Chelsea Manning provided to WikiLeaks, is like, oh no, the US government is committing war crimes, which is something people have been saying for a while. But again, it wasn't mass published like it was when it was put on WikiLeaks for everybody to see. It was more or less like protesters coming back from the war saying, yo, we've been doing shit in these countries. We joke about like man, I've seen some things, man. I know I do. But like the people coming back from Korea and Vietnam who are like, yo, I have seen some things, like they are talking about some shit they have seen that is like, yo, like that is like what we have been doing is inhumane. What we have done are crimes against humanity. But again, you have these anti-war protesters, people who are coming back from the war who are telling you these things. And of course, people don't want to hear it. Nobody's reporting on it because they're providing cover for the US military to continue to do the things. Up until you end up with the ceasefire in Korea, up until you end with the loss in the Vietnam War. But sure, like with Korea, they can say, oh yeah, we won. Like, no, we didn't. There's a ceasefire. It is still in the Korean War technically is still happening. It's just that nobody's crossing a line. Or if they are doing it very dangerously. And in Vietnam, like, yeah, we ain't nobody can look at that and say, oh yeah, we won that. Because Vietnam is so Vietnamese. But yeah, like when those soldiers came back and said they would tell people this is what we were doing, yeah, like nobody cared. And that's kind of how wars are fought. Like you got people coming over and it's like either like the soldiers are unpatriotic because they're standing against it. The anti-war protesters are unpatriotic because they're standing against war because they've heard what's going on and say, oh, like, why would a soldier who went over there come back and tell us these things be lying about that? That sounds like terrible things that should be happening to people. So yeah, like having WikiLeaks provide that information to people, kind of exposed a lot more people who just did not know what was going on. And so, oh wait, no, we are definitely not the good guys here. And then it just like as US empire kept doing more and more shit, as like we could just sit here with WikiLeaks is like, but are you doing the things you really are saying you're doing, or is it just more of the WikiLeaks shit? And it's like, Okay, yeah, it's more the WikiLeaks shit. And it's the same thing with Edward Snowden in the NSA. Where it's like, you've got people who were telling you that, look, the government is doing this, this, and this with our phones. Like, you've got the illegal wiretapping, which was made known before him, but then finding out about, what they're doing to our smartphones. Whereas like people were saying like, the government's hacked into smartphones. Like, okay, conspiracy theorists, you do you, go over there. But then Edward was like, look, here are the diagrams, here are the PDFs, here are the PowerPoint presentations, the PPTs, the .ppts, of what they're doing. Here are diagrams, here are just everything that he can get his hands on. And then provided the journalists, and now we're like, okay, yeah, no, To where when the FBI was like, hey, can we get a back door into iPhones? Like, fuck no. Y'all better holler at your friends at the NSA. They seem to got some shit going on. And then privacy, like device privacy became more of a thing. Not just because of the hackers, but because of the hackers, but because we know that it's already happening. The NSA themselves, the people who were supposed to be the good guys who were protecting national security, that's literally the name of the agency, National Security Agency, which, boy, now that I've said it so many times, it really just makes it seem like the NSA, like, really, what do you exist for? It just seems like you are the boy who's crying wolf at this point. But if the NSA is able to hack into our devices, who else is able to hack into it? It's not like the NSA hired hackers that didn't hack before. Like, no, they hired hackers who were just doing this already and say, hey, would you like a job with the US government and we won't throw you in prison? And develop things and have worked with other companies like the NSO Group to get access to people's phones and start spying on them. So, and a lot of the stuff was brought to our attention. And even then too, like the Pentagon Papers, the reason why I just saw this in the Wikipedia entry, but in the WikiLeaks' inspiration was from the Pentagon Papers. Like, I feel like we need more journalism to sit there and tell us what the fuck our government is doing, because they're not going to tell us, and they're going to keep hiding behind national security, because it's not about national security. It's about sort of keeping us in the dark, because they knew if we knew, we were going to say, fuck you. No, stop doing that. This is not what I pay my taxes for. Even though they've gotten really good at actually telling us what they're going to do, we tell them, no, stop that. We don't want to pay our taxes for that. And they just do it anyway. But yeah, also, to be clear, this is speaking towards Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. I am aware that there are allegations. I don't know about, or there are allegations about his sexual conduct, about sexual abuse, sexual assault, and what have you, trying to keep things a little PC in that regard, for those who may be triggered by those statements. Sorry if I did trigger anything, but there is conversations about other legal troubles he has, and I don't know what the results are. And I don't want to say if, like, there's a possibility he didn't do it. I want to believe, I believe those who are reporting or who are coming forward and saying that he's done things. If that is the case, he needs to pay for that. There we go. That's the phrase I need. He needs to pay for the crimes that he actually did do. So what that looks like for other governments where that pertains to him, then yeah, he needs to pay for those. But for this specific thing with WikiLeaks and the data, Are they free to prosecute him for those, or is he absolved of everything with this? So the issue with his other legal issue is not U.S. related. So that's why I'm pointing out, like, my talking points are specifically with the case he had with the United States with regards to him posting with him posting those cables. I am acknowledging that I do know he's staying accused of other things in another country. I believe it is Sweden. And if that is the case, if that is what's going down, then he needs to pay for those crimes too. He needs to pay for those crimes. I don't think he committed any U.S. crimes. I think the U.S. is just mad that he told their secrets. He told their secrets. Actually, hold on. Let's see. This is just put up a trigger warning here for that case. I'm going to see if I can locate it. Yeah, it was in Sweden. So beginning in 2010, Assange contested legal proceedings in the United Kingdom concerning the requested extradition of him to Sweden for a preliminary investigation into accusations of sexual offenses made in August 2010 while he was visiting Sweden. Assange left Sweden for UK on September 27, 2010 and was arrested in his absence the same day. He was suspected of I mean, it's in the word here. Also, this is not TikTok. He was suspected of rape of a lesser degree, unlawful coercion, and multiple cases of sexual molestation. So again, like, this was in like mid 2010, and this was when he was in Sweden. But yeah, between Assange presented himself to and was arrested by officers of the Metropolitan Police Extradition Unit at Scotland Yard on December 7, 2010, and was remanded to London's Wandsworth Prison. When he was arrested, he refused to cooperate with the standard British procedure of collecting photographs, fingerprints, and DNA samples from people who are arrested. On December 16th, he was granted bail with conditions of residence at Ellingham Hall, Norfolk, and wearing of an electronic tag. Bail was set at £240,000 surety and was with a deposit of £200,000, $312,700. On release on bail, Assange said, "I hope to continue my work and continue to protest my innocence in this matter," and told the BBC this has been a very successful smear campaign and a very wrong one. He claimed that Swedish extradition proceedings were actually an attempt to get me into a jurisdiction which will then make it easier to extradite me to the US. Swedish prosecutors denied that the case had anything to do with WikiLeaks. On August 12, 2015, Swedish prosecutors announced that the statute of limitations had expired for 3 of the allegations against Assange while he was in the Ecuadorian embassy. The investigation into the rape allegation was also dropped by Swedish authorities on May 19, 2017 because of Assange's asylum in the Ecuadorian embassy. Assange said in the proceedings that he feared he would ultimately be extradited to the United States if he were sent to Sweden. In May 2019, the Swedish Prosecution Authority reopened the investigation against Assange. The prosecutors expressed the intent to extradite Assange from the United Kingdom after he served his 50-week prison sentence for skipping bail. In June 2019, the Uppsala District Court denied a request to detain Assange, thereby preventing his extradition to Sweden. As of November 19, 2019, the prosecution dropped the case because the evidence has weakened considerably due to the long period of time that has elapsed, although they were confident in the complainant. So yeah, in that case, like he used to, I mean, using the US case as a reason to not go back to Sweden. You know what? I mean, it sounds very convenient for somebody who is, you know, not trying to answer to his crimes. And then yeah, conveniently, like everybody dropping the case in Sweden. Like, oh no. Well, darn. Like, I guess that's that, which is kind of fucked up. But with regards to the, again, I will say that with regards to the US case, again, I'm glad they dropped it. Whether or not I should be glad he's free is another thing. Windows 11 starts forcing OneDrive backups without asking permission because, you know, God forbid we have control over what our computers do. When you set up a new Windows computer while connected to the internet and using a Microsoft account, you usually see OneDrive on your desktop. The app synchronizes data from files such as images, documents, music, videos, and can be useful in certain cases. However, Microsoft seems to have assumed that everyone wants OneDrive backups activated by default, thus forcing it on without exception. You may not even realize it until you set up a new computer and suddenly see all your old files again. Luckily for me, I have OneDrive uninstalled, so yeah. Or do I? What did it? Oh, that's Nextcloud. Okay. Who are you? Oh, that's Windows Security. Yeah, I think I'm confident OneDrive is uninstalled for my PC. So yeah, be careful if you're installing new versions of Microsoft Windows 11, because OneDrive is not that far behind. I have a PC that I built for someone and have an admin account in that PC. I have disabled OneDrive syncing. Look at you. Good for you. Meta is connecting threads more deeply with the Fediverse. You'll now be able to like and see replies from other platforms right inside of Threads. Threads will now let people like and see replies to their Threads posts that appear on other Federate social media platforms, company announced on Tuesday. Previously, if you made a post on Threads that was syndicated to another platform like Mastodon, you will be able to see responses to that post while still inside Threads. That means you'd have to bounce back and forth between the platforms to stay up to date on replies. So thanks to this upgrade, you'll probably do less of that, but in a screenshot, Meta notes that you can't reply to replies yet, so it sounds like that feature will arrive in the future. Yeah, so far it looks like it's happening on mobile, but okay, yeah, that does make more sense. I know by keeping a different desktop picture on that PC so I could tell when it happens. Smart. Yeah, so like this looks like it's happening from like within the mobile app. I have not seen this roll out to my account yet. Let's see here. I'm gonna pop over to my Discord. I mean to my Mastodon account. I'm gonna look up Major Linux at threads.net. I've made 1.5 thousand posts on Threads? Really? I have 222 followers on Threads. Do I really? Let's compare. So let's. Yeah, okay, that works. Sure. All right, so I'm gonna find a. All right, so nobody's responded to this. I'm gonna respond to it. All right, so I've responded to a Threads post. Also, I'm gonna like it just to trigger, see if I can trigger a notification. Okay, so something showed up. All right, so it shows up here like, yeah, that somebody liked it. But still not necessarily like, hey, somebody responded. So not in here at least. I am gonna pop out of here and I'm gonna look on my phone. I'm gonna see what my phone says. Yeah, so it's still for my account. It's not showing anybody responding back to the post. So hopefully I'll get that ability soon, but yeah, it doesn't seem like it's available for me right now. Speaking of more meta stuff, boy, this is a lot. Jeez, I just not realized it is 1 o'clock. I've been doing this for 3 fucking hours. A meta error broke the political content filter on Threads and Instagram. Apparently there is a setting in Threads and Instagram that will limit the amount of political content that you see on the platforms, right? It was when they introduced the feature, it was enabled by default to set like, so it's like either don't restrict it or it was like limited or off, right? So you had to go in when they first announced the feature, when they snuck it in, because they did not announce it. You go in, you find it, you turn it off, and everything should be good. Apparently, yesterday, Meta bumped a setting and turned it back on for everybody who turned it off. I can report that it was not just people like maybe thinking they turned it off and they didn't, because I knew I turned mine off and it was on again. And like, okay. But it turns out that Meta continued to limit political content even for users who had opted into seeing it. An unspecified error apparently caused a political content toggle already buried several layers deep into Instagram's settings menu to revert back to the limit setting each time the app closed. Political content, according to Meta, is likely to mention governments, elections, or social topics that affect a group of people and or society at large. Yeah, for me, I don't know, like maybe to Meta, Palestine is not political or trans lives are not political, which in some contexts it isn't, but in some contexts it is. So like I've been able to see that content for a while. I haven't noticed much of a difference. Also, I'm not on Threads that much, and the content I see on Instagram are from friends, so I am explicitly seeing the stuff that they are posting. And I'm basically looking on stories. So that's like almost like the, hey, I am actively putting this here. And if you go through my stories, these are things that I personally posted and I should see all of it. If somebody is not seeing a story, then that's a bigger issue that we need to address. Of course, I was reached out to by one Cinziak, East Coast Merge, saying, are we ready to divest? Like someone like, it may be time to divest. And like, you know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like I am using Instagram less and less. There are still things that I find about, things that I learn about and share through Instagram. Because again, I don't use social media like a lot of other people do. And I feel like cutting off that line of communication, especially when I've not found ever a suitable replacement for it, kind of cuts me off from a large piece of information. Like Twitter was easy because it's just like a smaller version of an RSS feed. I mean, technically Mastodon is that too. Ladies and gentlemen, I have breaking news. I'm going back to Threads because I want to see if it shows up here. Ladies and gentlemen, a reply from Mastodon. I can now see people responding to my Threads content from Mastodon. I'm going to like it. And that's right. I just got a notification saying that I liked my response or my reply to my post. There we go. So cool. Now I've got the cool feature and I can not have to be jealous anymore. And a bit of cool news out of tech, kind of end on a good note. Epileptic teen receives first ever seizure controlling brain implant. The breakthrough device has reduced a 13-year-old's daytime seizures by 80%. A 13-year-old boy with severe epilepsy in the United Kingdom has become the first person in the world to receive a brain implant that helps keep seizures under control. Per The Guardian, Oren Nolson underwent surgery at Great Ormond Street Hospital in London to have the Picostim neurostimulator fitted into his brain to address Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, a rare treatment-resistant form of epilepsy. Nolson received the neurostimulator in October of 2023 as part of a pilot program run by Gosh in collaboration with University College London, King's College Hospital, and the University of Oxford. Since receiving the implant, which was developed by Amber Therapeutics, Oren's daytime seizures have been reduced by 80%. Previously, his seizures were so severe he required constant care and would sometimes lose consciousness and need resuscitation. For Oren and his family, epilepsy completely changed their lives, and so to see him riding a horse and getting his independence back is absolutely astounding. We couldn't be happier to be part of their journey. This is from Martin Tisdale, the pediatric neurosurgeon at GOSH. So again, that is awesome news. It's great to see, like bringing it down 80% is fantastic. So congratulations to Oren, his family, the doctors, everybody who worked to make this this is an unbelievable achievement. And again, this is where technology and innovation could happen and can thrive without the threat of capitalism behind it. But of course, you know, there are going to be people ready to make some money off of this. In the not too distant future. All right, finally, 3 hours in, ready to talk about some games. Luckily, I'm not going to hold you very long. Hopefully, there is one big story that's there. There's one story that is lingering around that might be here for a while, and which also made me sad this week. For other reasons, not because of the main meat and potatoes, but just thinking about the history of it all. Payday 3 is finally getting an offline mode that you need to be online to access. As part of Dev Update 6, the developer the developer Starbreeze revealed the next heist coming to the game, Boys in Blue. This one, as the name suggests, is centered around the cops. The heist takes place in... Oh, wait, that's not the part I want to read. The heist arrives alongside a major patch on June 27, which is already generating a lot of enthusiasm. Apart from a bunch of free and paid new cosmetics, new weapons, including the first LMG, and exciting tech additions like DLSS frame generation, the biggest feature in this one is the beta launch of solo mode. Starbreeze always promised to bring back the ability to play solo and without the need of an internet connection, and the first iteration of solo arrives with the update. Unfortunately, the mode intended to be enjoyed without relying on an internet connection or service does require both still. Excuse me. To launch the solo mode beta, you're going to need to connect to a server. At the end of your session, a connection will also be required to upload your progress. Let me start the shit on device. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Let me say the shit on device too. Excuse me. The developer stressed in the developer update that future iterations will move toward a fully offline option as well as hosted co-op games. The developer also warned that performance will be affected as many of the elements typically handled by servers must now run on the player's device. So I imagine asset streaming, like they were streaming assets from the cloud and now everything is just on the device. The thing we want Black Ops 6 to do. Forza Horizon 4 delist in December, delist DLC delist today. Let's see here. The game is discounted currently 80% off on Steam. So I mean, yeah, like pay 20% of what the game actually costs to just play for a few more months. There's no reason oh wait, hold on, it says it was announced. Maybe it is in here. Okay, wait, okay. So yeah, does it appear to say why they are delisting it? One of the speculations, of course, I mean, I feel like it's one of the biggest reasons why games get delisted from services is the licensed music. The license is probably expiring, which means that they are no longer Player Games, Microsoft, Xbox, whoever is no longer able to sell the game, so they have to delist it. So it is unfortunate. I also feel like these games maybe shouldn't rely on the internet, and maybe we should stop this copyright bullshit where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna license tracks for a certain amount of years. People will be done with it, right? You never know. Maybe Forza Horizon 4 is like the best game ever to some people. I don't know. I don't remember where it's taking place at. Like 5 was Mexico. I think 4 was the UK. Yeah, I think 4 was the UK. Probably not worth renewing the license for these cars or music on an old game. They'll want to sell you a new version and pay those fees. Yes, I know. It still sucks. But the news that doesn't suck, Bethesda Game Studios Montreal is the latest studio to unionize. Bethesda Game Studios Montreal filed for certification with the Quebec Labor Board today. Of course, you need to rebuy your cars. Yeah. I mean, at least I can, well, I mean, I'm not spending cash on Forza Motorsport, so there's that. And a thread on Twitter, the account for the BGS Montreal Union called the One BGS MTL revealed it filed for certification with the Quebec Labor Board today. The union intends to unionize with Communication Workers of America, or the CWA Canada. As a union, we strive to make BGS a supportive workplace that fosters creativity and talent. This will allow us to keep creating some of the best video games in the industry, both in jobs and at the studio we all love. This is this is from the 1BGS NTL Twitter account. Also, I'm mad that the Twitter embed is working on this site. I need to go fix that. I love how IGN is now saying that their sister site, GameIndustry.biz, boo IGN, boo. And of course, as we talk about unions, hey, would you like to buy a Pip-Boy in our store? But yeah, congratulations to the Bethesda Game Studios Montreal for your win, your successes there. Seems like Microsoft is not going to stop you. They hopefully will be coming to the negotiation table to work with you all. Yeah, so congratulations. Hot labor summer. You know the vibes. Last but not least, in gaming news, the Steam Game Recording Beta has been announced and it works on Linux and Steam Deck too. I have not tried this because I found this out late last night. Even though the news came out 6:54 p.m. UTC, which means it was earlier in the day. I could have done something, but I didn't. So yeah, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see if it works. Like I am running the beta. Actually, I wonder if this is working on the family mode beta because I'm using the family mode beta on my Steam Deck. So I might have to check and see if this is included in the family mode beta to see if I can do the recordings. Because yeah, it's going to be pointless if, you know, can't. Also, I like this whole media transfer thing. Ooh, record on demand if I set a hotkey. It's one of them back buttons, baby. Of course, I'm talking about the Steam Deck. So yeah, definitely if you are not a part of any other random beta on Steam Deck, maybe try this beta, record your footage, post it on the internet. We'll love to see your Steam footage. Roll that beautiful Steam footage. All right, now it's time to talk about this week's elephant in the room. I have gone through 3.25 hours of content to not talk about this. And now it is time to talk about it. Dr. Disrespect finally has come clean on what happened back in 2020 that caused him to get just yeeted from Twitch. And the reason won't surprise you, or I don't know, it seemed like it surprised a lot of people. But what he does with that reason will surprise you after you find out what it was he did. So of course, there was some rumbling going on earlier this week. I want to say probably over the weekend, where there was one user who came out some time ago, or not one user, a Twitch employee, an anonymous Twitch employee came out and said some things about why Dr. Disrespect was banned from Twitch indefinitely. People kind of took that with a grain of salt because again, it was an anonymous Twitch employee or just somebody anonymous, period. However, this week or within the last week, another Twitch employee, one that actually has been I think it was a former Twitch employee, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me, let me see if I can. This is full statement. I'm trying to see if I can find out. Okay, so this says on Friday, a former Twitch employee posted to Twitter that Beam was banned because he got caught sexting a minor. Another former Twitch employee told The Verge that Beam was banned over messages sent to a minor to discuss meeting up at TwitchCon. So this one, okay, that was just earlier this week. Also, this says that Whispers is defunct. Whispers is actively being used. I got a message on Whispers today. But here it is. Comments corroborated post from Cody Connors, a former Twitch employee who worked on the company's strategic partnerships team. Late Friday, Connors posted on Twitter he got banned because got sexting a minor in the then existing Twitch Whispers product. He was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon. The powers that be could read in plain text. So let's see. I guess, yeah, so Cody Connors went on Twitter. The other anonymous one. So it was Cody Connors first, and then it was corroborated by another former Twitch employee. So yeah, sorry, I have my order of events backwards. But that's where we are. So after the story was reported or was tweeted about and then corroborated, everybody started reporting about it. Of course, when the initial shit was breaking out, you had Dr. Disrespect, who is Guy Beam. He went out and kind of went on Twitter and said, hey, nope, that's not true. Everybody, we settled the dispute. Nobody's at fault. We're trying to move on with our lives here. But then, like, seemingly the next day or like a couple of days later, he comes out and says, all right, look, yep, that's what happened. I'm going to come clean. The messages that were sent to the individual were leaning towards inappropriate, but they weren't really. Let's see. Everyone has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch, but for reasons outside of my control, I was not allowed to say anything for the last several years. Now that 2 former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed accusations, I can now tell you my side of the story regarding the ban. You say that and then say it was the thing that they were saying. In his statement, Beam says that there were messages between him and an unnamed minor back in 2017. Beam says there were no real intentions behind the messages. No pictures were shared and the two never met. Quote, I should have never entertained these conversations to begin with. But you did. I'm pretty sure everybody else who's gotten caught inappropriately texting a minor and feel some type of way about it will also be like, man, I should have never entertained these messages. But you did. Own up to that shit. In a statement today, Beam says that he went into arbitration with Twitch to settle the dispute over his exclusivity contract. He previously said that no wrongdoing was acknowledged and they paid out the whole contract. Let's see. Yesterday, Midnight Society, a video game studio Beam co-founded in 2021, announced that it ended its relationship with the creator. In a post on Twitter, Robert Bowling, studio head at Midnight Society, wrote, if you inappropriately message a minor, I cannot work with you. Turtle Beach, the gaming peripheral manufacturer, has also announced it has severed ties with Beam, which means now I will. Oh yeah, he still got paid. And I'll get into that. In a statement to The Verge, McLean Marshall, Turtle Beach's senior director of global communications, wrote, we will not be continuing our partnership with Guy Beam, Dr. Disrespect. After his ban for Twitch, Beam resumed his streaming career on YouTube and has garnered more than 4.7 million subscribers there yesterday at the end of a stream. Beam said that he was fatigued and considering an extended break from streaming. However, in today's statement, Beam appeared defiant and said that he would resume streaming after a vacation with his family. I have to, right? Yeah, he still hasn't really lost many subscribers since that happened. But then I wonder if but I'm also wondering if Twitch subscriber if you have Twitch subscribers, YouTube well, those two things are different, but like this Twitch followers versus YouTube subscribers works a little differently. Like people just forget that you followed a YouTube channel. It's not like you were there to watch them live. You just happened to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and like that's where that number came from. And people just forget that they subscribed to him on YouTube. But you don't forget that you subscribe to somebody on Twitch because that's taking money out your pocket. I'm no fucking predator or pedophile. I don't know, dog. I don't know. Like, maybe we should see the messages and let us be the judges for ourselves. I'm just saying. Also, don't do that. Don't do that. Nobody needs to see that. God, no. That was a terrible thing I said. Trust me when I say this to all my haters that live and breathe social media with zero real life experience. I don't give a fuck. I mean, that's great. I guess I'm not one of those people. I do have real life experience, and I know that as an adult, I should not be inappropriately texting minors. I mean, there's that. Like, there's just that. Like, I don't know, dog. Like, it's not a hard thing to do. Like, if a minor is texting you and they're being inappropriate, maybe just don't respond. But whatever, dog. You do you. I mean, sure. Like, finally, he has barely paid any price for any of that either. I mean, he might hit some shit. But again, looking at YouTube and looking at YouTube subscription versus like a Twitch follow, I feel like the mental awareness of those two things are different. Where it's like, I feel like when you follow someone on Twitch, it's like following someone on social media, and if you don't agree with their politics or whatever, you unfollow them. On YouTube, a subscribe is not a follow. It's never, or at least I've never thought of it like that. So I was like, I subscribe to a lot of YouTube channels. I forget that I do and won't ever think about it. So there may be a whole bunch of subscribers, like YouTube subscribers, where like his subscriber numbers on YouTube aren't going to go down as fast as his followers will go down on Twitch. Now, what may hit, and the thing we won't see or may not hear about for some time, is what his subscriber numbers on YouTube mean. Also, it does speak volumes that YouTube has not done anything, that Google has not done anything. The fact that they are really like, yo, we will platform a pedo. Or I guess the new term, a PDF. Like, it does speak volumes that Google, YouTube has not said or done anything. Or at least I don't know. I've not checked today. Google gave the green light for the predators for decades now. YouTube Kids was invented for them to avoid it. Okay. That makes sense. But yeah, we'll see what, like, again, like, it's a thing of, I don't know if YouTube puts out sub numbers like Twitch might. And I don't think even Twitch does it that easily, if they do at all, or if they do anymore. So it may be a while before we find out what his subscriber, like what his like YouTube numbers look like from a monetary from a monetary standpoint. I do want to read this here. Finally, if you're uncomfortable with this entire statement and think I'm a piece of shit, that's fine, but I'm not fucking going anywhere. I'm not the same guy that made this mistake all those years ago. I don't know, like, once a scumbag, always a scumbag, but okay. I'm taking an extended vacation with my family, as mentioned on stream, and I'm coming back with a heavy weight off my shoulders. They want me to disappear. Yeah, fucking right. I mean, you're absolutely right. We do want you to disappear. You are a very disgusting and vile human being who has, again, I don't care if you have changed, but you have inappropriately sexted with a minor. You have followed people with cameras into a bathroom. You have disrespected your wife. I mean, look, it's not like, you know, you did one thing bad and we're harping on the one. You've had a consistent, repeated behavior, and we see that, and it doesn't seem like, I mean, granted, like, it could be the character, but I'm still gonna call bullshit, because again, the character still has some truth to it. And again, it's why at the begin, like, I'm not gonna say at the beginning, but like, I've always felt at the beginning when I started using Major Linux as an online handle and started, you know, creating content and presenting myself online as Major Linux, it was always me. It was always Marcus Summers. And then when shit like when Dr. Disrespect shows up, a lot of these personalities show up. It's like, yeah, no, we are not two different people. Marcus Summers is Major Linux and Major Linux is Marcus Summers, and that's always going to be it. I stand 10 toes down behind everything I fucking say. And if I fuck up on stream as Major Linux, best believe that both of us, Major Linux and Marcus Summers, which again, same person, is going to apologize. We're going to own up to that mistake and apologize. I'm not going to sort of blame it on the personality. Fuck that shit. I may say things like, oh, like, like, I'm gonna act like Major now. Like, no, it's mainly because, like, I'm gonna act like the dude who's on stream who seems to be more extroverted than I actually am when not in front of a camera. But trust and believe, we're the same fucking person. If someone were keeping a social blade on him, then we would be able to tell tomorrow. I mean, I hate using social blade, but it dipped. It seemed like he lost 40,000 subscribers. 40,000 subscribers in the week, 20,000 in the last 30 days. Yeah, so it looks like he is trending downward. And it looks like his gained subscriber numbers are starting to bottom out. Yeah, all right, yep, so we can see it now. On the 20th, he was sitting at 4.73. He's now at 4.68. So you know what? I think when I was looking at his subscriber number earlier, I think I mistaken an M for a K, to where, yeah, like when you go from 4.7 to 4.6 million, yeah, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. All those years ago, shit was 7 years ago. Who kept up the lie and never owned up to it until now? The problem is that his audience loves his attitude. It's only made him more popular with his audience. Yeah, I mean, again, like I forgot who I was talking to. Like, this is damn, who was I was talking to? I swear I was online talking to somebody, and I cannot remember who it was. But this is going to sit there and send him down the alt-right pipeline. Because like, oh no, I've been canceled. Like, dude, no, you're being held accountable because you were sexting a minor. There's a difference here. Take responsibility, my guy. But yeah, I feel like that's just going to be alt-right pipeline for him. I do remember the theory he was coming out with an official statement on it because the anniversary of the banning was coming up. People thought maybe NDAs were expiring. Yes, like Merch said, it doesn't bother him that much because that's what he built his brand on. Yeah. Yeah, maybe he doesn't have to be Guy Beam anymore. He can just be Dr. Disrespect for real now. That's right. Dr. Disrespect, the two-timing because I cheated on my wife. PDF who films people in a bathroom. Like, okay, dog, you own that shit. I mean, that's cool. That's what you want to do. That's you, dog. I would say, like, maybe let Dr. Disrespect die, come back, like start a new channel as Guy Beam, and let's just roll with that. That was the secret. He was also Dr. Disrespect. Yeah, like, again, dude's been scummy and has done this on multiple occasions. Oh, that's the secret. He was always Dr. Disrespect. And that's the thing, like, again, he's like, look, I'm not that same person. Dude, you have shown a pattern of behavior and have not shown any changes in that. You are still the same dude. You still act like the same dude. At what point have we gotten any evidence to prove that you are anything different? And I do want to go back to something Merch had said. Apparently a trans sex worker came out with the DM scrolling in a vid exposing him. Dog. Again, like, if people are going to do bad shit, stop doing it in ways in which people can prove it. Again, I'm not endorsing it. Also, I'm not saying, like, look, whatever you were doing, whatever you do, it's not the point of. They claimed it was back in 2017, so he might have actually changed since then. Again, no evidence to prove it. I mean, sure, we could say innocent until proven guilty, but also he says he's changed, and I feel like, don't be better, hide your crimes better. I mean, yes, but also, because again, like I actually did tell my son this morning. I said, look, I told him to go get me some milk. Like, go to the store and go get me some milk. So I don't have a driver's license. I said, look, it's not a crime unless you get caught. Terrible lesson to teach my son. I know he gets it because, again, just like his daddy has a very strong sense of justice, he knows right from wrong. Is it a crime if not found out major in 2024? Oh, let's see. Hold on, slow down. I gotta make some quotes real quick. Okay. All right, where is the other one? Yeah, there we go. Add quote. Damn it, I didn't copy the last one. Control C, there we go. There we go. Let's see, where was I? Now that the quotes have been added, kill Linux to become an evil mastermind, it will never know. So when he takes your car, you know whose fault it is. I mean, yeah, he'd be the only one to point the blame to. My wife is still here, if my car is not. Excuse me. But yeah, I do want to go back to something that well, hold on. I do want to finish the thing about the crime though. Yeah, because we're talking about the messages. Again, this is not me sitting there saying like maybe he shouldn't have engaged with conversations with the sex worker. No, if that's what you want to do, you do that. Just own up to it. Stop lying about it. Like, hey, if that's what you want to do, that's what you do. If you want to have extramarital affairs which against your wife, you do you. Just don't lie about it. Like, just keep it abandon the buck, stand 10 toes down, be about your business. Stand on business. But I do want to go back to a conversation that Merged said about like him still getting paid, or like a comment he made about about still being paid after he got dropped. And it's that part too, like even thinking about like, you know, listing all of the, listing like a couple of sponsors that were still attached to him up until like yesterday. Whereas like dude was still getting money. He was still being platformed. And let's not even think about why he was banned from Twitch. Let's talk about like the fact that he was caught in a bathroom filming people. Again, like whatever he did with his wife is another thing. That's outside of Twitch. But the fact that you were streaming on Twitch, filming people in a bathroom at TwitchCon, and he was still being platformed, Turtle Beach decided to still work with him. God knows how many other companies and sponsors that he has that still stuck by him during that shit. And I can say that wasn't in 2017. That was, I believe, after 2017. The NFL team chose to work with him after the fact. Like, so many people gave this man money and a platform after what was like really truly vile and disgusting behavior. And again, like I could say me, like I could have gotten some of that, but it's not about me. It's about the fact that there are other people, other creators, especially marginalized folk, who get looked over time and time again, smaller creators who get looked over time and time again, to sit there and give these lucrative contracts, sponsorship deals, everything to the top of the top, and exclude everybody else. Even like a fucking PDF, like a pervert in like the most extreme, like one of the most extreme senses. But no, we got it. Look, he's bringing in eyeballs. Like, I don't know if you give other people product and people have chance to win product or get closer to product, I'm pretty sure they will bring in the eyeballs too. Some people like to just fall, like again, like if all of a sudden I get like a Logitech sponsorship, and it was announced on Logitech's social media that, oh, Major Linux is giving away like a keyboard an hour if you watch your streams and do these things. I'm pretty sure I got, and like it was like, hey, he's our newest partner. I'm pretty sure my numbers will be great. More people come because they know that, okay, Major Linux is a Logitech partner, and he gives away like new keyboards. Like it's like free keyboard Friday or some shit, right? Capitalism is just fucked, man. Like that's what made me sad yesterday, the other day, or like yeah, for majority of this week. It's just really thinking about like there are people out here who are like the lowest of the low, the scum of the fucking earth. I mean, look, I use Logitech shit all the time. That's why I thought I'm a Logitech mouse here. Got Logitech keyboard. Look, I'll go back to Blue. I'll use a Blue microphone again. I'm not above Blue microphones. Give me a loop deck. One thing I will not do is use Streamlabs. That's off the table. Yeah, hook me up with a loop deck, a microphone, some new lighting. I mean, yo, look, I'll be Logitech all day. You want me to stop using my DSLR and use a stream cam? I'll do that. No. Actually, I like my DSLR. That's another one. I could use your webcam as like, you know, another camera. I do not trust that Logitech build quality at all. I don't know. They serve me okay. I mean, I would say not to put a keyboard in a bin of heavy computer equipment. Don't do that. I did that. It did not end well for that keyboard. That was my mistake though. Or I mean, well, we can go Corsair. I got a Corsair keyboard somewhere. I can go back to my old Corsair. No, actually, I don't know. There might be some thin profile Corsair keyboards out there. Like for real. Like look at it. Look how thin this is. Look how thin this is. Look at that. Look at that. It's a G915. Look at this. I love it. I wonder why people thought you got to replace their Logitech mice every year, and then I found out them shits be breaking on the regular. Of course, I have some solid basic Cherry MX red brown keyboards. I don't know if I haven't had to replace a Logitech mouse in a while. I mean, I'm also buying like their higher end shit, or I'm not buying currently, but I did like this is the MX Master 3. Yeah, the MX Master 3. And I have a G502 somewhere. I think that's actually in the container where that keyboard got broke. Also, somebody is talking to me directly somewhere, and I don't know where. And because the computer is on and showing me things, the Discord notifications are not going to my phone. I want to know who is talking. I'll get to that in a second. Or a few. But yeah. Deals are abound. You have until July 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. UTC to get your hands on the Steam Deck LCD 64 and 512 gigabyte Steam Decks. I wonder if this may be because they're not being sold anymore. Yeah. The Steam Deck LCD 64 and 512 are being phased out and eventually won't be sold anymore. Because that's right, they're only selling the 256 in LCD. Everything else is OLED. So yeah, if you're wanting to get some of the LCD tech, you want to get a little bit cheaper, 15% off. You have until July 11th to do so. Also, if you are subscribed to Amazon Prime, Amazon is giving away 15 games leading up to Amazon Prime Day, which is on the 16th and 17th. From now until July 11th, Amazon will gradually unlock 15 free PC games. The lineups include an all-time classic Star Wars game, Modern Stuff Classic, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and a pair of gunslinger action games set in the Wild West and more. I guess KOTOR is the classic game. Shredder's Revenge. I might have to go get that because Shredder's Revenge, I think is Game Pass. I think I have access to it on Game Pass, which means it will go away. Hitman Absolution. Wow, that is very old. Forger, Card Shark, Heaven Dust, Solstice, Deceive Inc., Tearstone, Thieves of the Heart, The Invisible Hand, and Call to Juarez. Oh, the Steam Decks are gone? Damn. Well, I guess that deal expired. That's on me. That's on me, guys. I'm sorry. I did post it in the Discord, though. I did post it in the Discord. But I guess because I was not live when the article went up. I think that's what it was, too. Yeah, I think they were just low on stock and they were just trying to get rid of it. But surprisingly, giving people until July 11th, I just thought that they were just going to be there until not. But yeah, that's it. Oh, wow. Ladies and gentlemen. Whew, almost 4 hours of news. The dump truck is empty. The dump truck is empty. Let's see. I'm going to look. Oh, there's 201 articles that are in my RSS feed, but I'm going to go through them after this, and we'll probably share them on next Mondays. I did do a Tech Talk Thursdays by myself today. Or I don't know, I could go through the 2 hour, I could go through the 201 articles and maybe give you 6 hours of a podcast merge. I could do that. I don't want to. I don't want to do that. Some of them will just be reading the headlines at least. Yeah, but it's a lot, and I'm just gonna not put you all through that because excess half-bit commentary. Oh, cool. Yep, that's pretty much what it would be. But also, like, I am now sipping on hot water. I forgot to put ice in this, so it's like really stale hot water, and also it smells like food was made, and I'm hungry, even though nobody texted me to tell me food was made. So I don't know. But yeah, so look, I'm out. I got things to do. It appears that Kev wanted to prove a point on how do you let people know about states of games. And apparently Myth Force is available on Prime Gaming. And wanted to know if he picked it up. So I guess I'm gonna handle all of that. Go get something to eat, get something to drink, take a break, maybe do some other quick work because again, I got some other projects I got to work on. And then yeah, come back for Tech Talk Thursdays Plays where we are playing Warhammer 40K Darktide and get a whole bunch of lore from Kev because that's his bag and he is excited to share it. Very excited. He has reminded us on multiple occasions that he's got us on the lore of Warhammer 40K. So come ready to learn. Come ready to laugh, especially. Playing games with the Major is always a laugh riot. Thank you everybody so much for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. Thank you for sticking through for this nearly 4 hours of news coverage. It's been a lot. Of course, you all could have been anywhere in the world watching any stream, or you could have literally been doing anything else. It's been a minute. But I say thank you for sticking through. Hopefully, I'll be in a better headspace next week to where these won't be as long because I'm going to keep it abandoned up Monday. When I was supposed to do it Monday, there was only 4 stories. It grew. But yeah, thank y'all so much. Of course, all I've got left to say to you wonderful people is nobody's going to save us but ourselves. I love you. And peace. And
y'all still here? Anywho, thank you so much for tuning in to another video. Really do appreciate it. Of course, if you like the content that you just saw, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things that the YouTubers ask you to do. I guess that includes me now. Anywho, yes, like, comment, subscribe. Really do appreciate it. Support the channel over Patreon, PayPal, whatever. Check out the links in the video to anything else I might be pushing, hawking. I don't know. Did I sell out by now? I recorded this ages ago. Have I sold out? Let me know. But until then, I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.